Welcome to the Wandering Isles. My name is Ken. I am your DM for this evening. And we have our intrepid crew with us for today. We have Mr. Rhino playing Amadriana. We have Mr. Kian playing Dash. We have Mr. Rory Kai playing Miss Eos. We have Mr. Busy Bee playing Lotsu and Mr. Richard playing Slate. My friends, we're going to kick in. We're going to get started.
Gonna crack Ryan's back.
We're going to crack Ryan's back. We're going to bake a cake.
That'd be nice.
Let's do it, Amadriana. I have no idea what music theme you want, but take us away.
I'll go with soft and smooth, I think.
Just some jazz.
You would.
Yeah, I would.
I've got you some.
I'll take it any way I get it.
Kinky.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're 18. Right? Yeah.
It started with a kiss. Somehow it was the only thing that Dash didn't miss. A party for us all. Apparently the teachers and school. The party was fun, with cocaine for everyone. And Madriana was determined to get hold of a wand. The teacher impressed and shared a new bond. Dash lusted for Lissa. Eos was taking a bath. I wondered what the morning would be. The aftermath. Set sail on a boat, which magically float. Some fun that was had turned terribly bad. Fahatsu got damaged, and the mast it got smashed. But the group did fix it. No help from Dash.
That sure did help.
A conversation was had about Amadriana's dad. So Dash got a chubby, while Liz started to worry. But the secret they better keep if they don't want to be buried deep. So here at the start, the show did begin with Dash and Alyssa. Go on, son, get in.
Clip that.
Oh, man. All right. As far as recaps go.
I said you were going to like this one, didn't I?
I was not expecting that.
Brings up a curious question if I should be proofreading these recaps. Oh, man.
No. We need the social clips.
Amazing. So, before we kick in, I want to shout out something very important and near and dear to us. Mr. Kian is participating in Movember this year, and I want to give a shout out to it because it's for an absolutely incredible cause. So, what I'm going to do is post a link in chat. Kian, if you want to just mention a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Movember kind of hits close to my heart in a lot of ways, particularly with the kind of men's mental health thing. I think D&D is an escape for a lot of us. I know me specifically, I had a very tough time around lockdown, and I had these lovely gentlemen to help me through it. So I'm doing Movember to raise funds in aid of men's mental health, and this beard, it's literally my identity. It's my logo on Twitch. So getting rid of it for November 1st and growing a Hulk Hogan tash to horrify my partner, so she's not going to be able to look at me straight for a month, but hopefully in aid of a good cause. So thank you in advance. If you can spare anything, I'd very much appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Boblin will put the link of it.
Boblin will put a link in chat. Apparently he doesn't want to right now. We will sort that out in a second. But
Boblin.
Every time, man. I wouldn't mind. I tested this like 80 times, I think. For now, though, we will kick in. I appreciate that. I just wanted to give a shout out to it because it is a very beautiful cause, and we wanted to give some love to it. So thank you so much, Kian, for your participation in that. Looking forward to seeing your Freddie Mercury beard.
I don't know what this. Like, I genuinely, I haven't seen my chin in years. So like this, this goes deeper than I go. But
that just means it's a worthy cause, right?
Yeah.
Again, sounds like a great night for Liz, doesn't it?
Oh, wow.
And that was the perfect segue. You did it. We kick in where we left off. The group disembarking the ship. And I present you with options. At this point, you guys will be pretty hungry. You can dig in and start eating those delicious rations that were left by Mr. Remington himself. Or Eos, perhaps you would like to see if you can catch up and rustle up some fish with your new fishing rod and the things you were liking to do with Hatsu last week that we got a little bit cut on time for, but I've been thinking about all week, so I'd like to give it a bit of attention. It's up to you guys what you want to do. I'm throwing Rory entirely under the bus because I gave him no preparation for that.
He said, read my sheet. I was like, when I read it, I was like, no, that's my sheet.
Read your sheets.
And I was like, I'm reading nothing here.
If
But
you
anyways,
would like to
course.
be fishing, you may, or you guys may eat rations. But as we approach the end of this day, I would recommend food of some sort.
Absolutely. Eos will reach into the magical rucksack. She'll start taking out the fishing rod. And she's looking around to see if Hatsu's about.
Don't know if you'd know if he was or not because
Oh,
it's Hatsu.
he's since the noise has silenced a little bit. He would be like in front of the ship. He might have watched what you're doing.
Excellent. Okay. She'll take out the fishing rod and she'll head towards the front of the ship and Hatsu,
Hmm.
do you know how this works?
Well, it looks like a fishing rod.
I'd like to try it. I want to catch something.
Hmm. You seen any fish?
There's many in the water, but I've never cast to try and catch one. I usually, in the mornings, head down, put my pants up to my knees and stab at the.
Well, if you don't know the area, my grandfather told me it's quite hard. He always referred to it, it's like catching a worm. You never know where they are, right? But we can try if
Yes.
you want to. Is there a pier actually where we're landing?
No, it's mostly just a shoreline. And a very cold one at that. The light's going away and fading. And for all intents and purposes, there is water here. But if you were to go a little bit further, you can see that just a ways down, it begins to freeze the water. Even the open waters. This is a very cold place. Now would be a good time to put on any cold clothing you may have received, and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus like Armad J, but I also recommend anything that might be attached to your boots to keep you upright, because this is a slippery place. There are things in the bag of holding for you that are like coats, boots, and I want to say caltrops, I think. No, not caltrops.
Oh, actually, I have to send it to anyone, right?
Oh, yeah. Crampons.
Crampons, that's it. Thank you so much. There are crampons.
Oh, tampons. Oh.
And tampons there. Well, you never know. It's a long journey.
You never know.
What?
There's females at the
we
ground.
I'm not
live
a
in
native speaker, I'm sorry.
We live in a good society, so they're actually free as well.
Oh, wow.
So, what I will also say is that, Richard, because you weren't here last week, there were things given out to people on parts of a letter. I believe the letter may have been shared. I'm not sure. If not, I can send it your way anyway.
It has.
Okay.
No, I've seen it.
So one thing that was in there was a loot for you, and I believe that's still in the bag of holding. So we'll shoot it your way. Sorry, not the bag of holding. Oh my god, what's it called?
The Jack Wolfkin backsack thing.
The Rift Satchel. That's what we called it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything, just for the edits, just I'll put like a mug over my face, and you can just say whatever you want.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah, with that in mind,
Okay. So she'll put on the boots.
Yeah.
She'll put on the lavender cloak. She's gonna, try and be as cold as she can. She's going to settle down and cast and wait.
nice.
And she's going to use the tiniest corn of her ration as bait.
So it's going to be an animal handling check.
Oh. Okay.
So this is a new one. This isn't one we get to use that much. So I'm leaping at the fact. If you wouldn't mind, you can give me an animal handling check, and if Hatsu is helping you, I will give you advantage.
All right, I will.
Yes.
Hell yes, let's go. I got a. What's the maths?
Is it a 7 or a 7?
I got an 8.
You got an 8 with advantage. That's outstanding.
Welcome to D&D.
On the bright side, the strings don't snap.
Oh, that's nice.
But it's... Go ahead.
Question, I'm just gonna take a look in the water. Can I see any fish?
Oh, so many. There's like hundreds of them.
Can I try to shoot one with an arrow?
Sure.
Yeah, wait, let me see.
How are
Can
you... Yeah, okay.
I was gonna say, can I see Dash going to do this and just walk up and just be like, before you try that, at least do this part, and I'd tie the rope or a string or something to the
I was
end.
gonna ask. Yeah, string rather than rope, but yeah.
I was literally about to, tie some string to an arrow and just try arrow fishing.
Yeah. Well, Adriana got there first and tied it to a string. So now she looks smarter than you.
Like Dash is there, like, I was about to, you know when have you ever, like, when you're gonna do something and someone asks you to do it and you kind of, okay, now I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
that's just marriage.
That's my life.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Who's that? It's like, oh, you get the dishwasher as you're pulling the dishwasher open. You're like, no.
Yeah, you can make an attack roll for me. And what I'll get, Master Rory, is you can reel it back in and you can make a second attempt if you like. But for the moment, it is
normal.
It's a no-go on the fish.
Yeah, so it's a 16 to hit.
That's a 14 for non-man handling.
Okay. Okay. Oh man, that's tricky. I'm gonna say you both get fish.
Yay!
Dash, yours is bigger but more damaged because you're using an arrow. Eos, yours is smaller but it's intact completely, and looks more delicious because of it. So you both provide. So like, yeah, almost simultaneously. It like the arrow scared one of the fish into the hook.
Nice.
Yeah, teamwork. That's fucking teamwork.
While
Cheers,
that's going on, I'd like to start preparing a little fire, taking out my cooking utensils and start prepping for what I assumed was going to be inevitable fish.
That's a brave assumption with this group.
That's okay. You're cooking. I'm gonna say that fish isn't particularly hard to cook, right? It's not something that is overly tricky, but there is nuances to how it's served. That's where a lot of the trick comes. Basic fishing, anyway. Basic fish, not talking like sushi or, like puffer fish or whatever. What I'll say is we will roll. That's interesting.
I have cook's utensils. I don't know if that's necessarily what you want me to roll.
You can roll those. Yeah, sorry, that takes all of it out. I was gonna say you maybe performance because you're like styling it up. But yeah.
One could argue performance for the presentation.
Yeah.
I was about to say I would do a lot better with performance than cook's utensils.
We can do both.
Alright. So here is cook's utensils.
It's undercooked, but it looks great. Yeah, exactly.
18.
So
Okay.
18.
I believe I've given you proficiency, so it's actually... Oh, no, that is there. Sorry, that's the 2. Got it. 18. So... Yeah, I mean, you cook a great meal. 2 fish goes a long way for 8 people, apparently.
I would, if you've seen a full fish. I mean, look.
We'll say they're decent fish.
Yeah.
You all sit down to have your food. Each of you sitting around the campfire, and it's a really nice moment because it's kind of your first time doing this around the campfire, properly out in the wild, not protected by the island, not protected by Remington, but it's your first time together out. You've been in Penzance, but that was again in the confines of a town. This is truly an adventure. And for some reason, Chicken the Fox has his own fish, and it's already cooked. But besides that, we're good. We're in.
I'm not sure I've actually camped properly before. It's quite cold.
Well, I'm sure Lissa will cuddle up with you.
She's sitting on the other side talking to Ayami.
Did we bring a tent?
I would have assumed so. Hatsu, is there a tent in the bag?
I don't think so, to be honest, but I will have a look.
Can I start preemptively looking for a space where we could create some cover?
Sure.
Same. I shall assist.
Both of you can have survival. One can roll with advantage, or both of you can roll. It's up to you.
Individual rolls?
Yeah, why not?
That checks out. That double checks out.
That double checks out, yeah.
Well,
Natural 20.
Ryan, your first one of the evening to note down is Amadriana's survival check. So, Dash.
Dash
you-
waddles
could-
into the water, starts looking in the water for a place.
Like, if we stay by the water, at least we'll have access to the water if we get thirsty during the night.
You can't drink
Are you
that.
drinking salt water?
Oh, that's a good point.
And you know about the tide and stuff. So if you don't know if it's flood or tide or whatever, you might get a bath while you're sleeping.
That would not be comfortable.
My favorite part of that whole
He,
interaction
he,
was
he looks he looks over to Lissa, and he just looks at her like, he's serious, right?
Yes, darling, he is serious. My favorite part of the whole interaction was Eos in the background just quietly going, "You can't drink that. You can't drink that."
Well, usually what you're looking for at the shore is where you find like flooded sticks and stuff, so you at least know where the water line is. But I would prefer to stay at least at a wood line if there is any to find. And Remington also did put some tents in.
Oh.
There's no woodline of sorts, but there are mounds of snow. Dash, you inspect the first one and immediately, almost to your detriment, slip into a pit that is covered in snow. You manage to catch yourself just before it's critical, because you rolled a 2 and not a 1. But Amadriana, as you're walking past, you just sort of pull him back in, and you look over at a clear spot, and there's this perfect clearing that is surrounded by mounds, giving you guys both shelter and protection from the surrounding area.
Don't you think that looks like a better spot?
You know what? I think it does.
Dash, as you look down into the pit, you see several quite long deceased sheep.
Oh. What kind of pit is it?
You're asking me?
pit.
Is there like there tar at the bottom?
No. I would have brought Ducky if that was the case. No. It's just quite steep and deep. Yeah. It's difficult to get out because of the fact that it's made almost solidly of ice and snow. The dirt
Is it
doesn't
like
kick in for a while.
Man-made, was it? Human-made?
No.
Person-made?
None of the above.
Huh.
Why don't you gather some wood and be careful for some other pits, will you?
Wood for what?
A fire.
We have a fire. We just cook the fish on it.
There's a cooking fire and there's a fire to keep you warm so you don't freeze to death when you sleep.
Okay, but would that attract predators?
No more than cooked fish.
The only predator is here. That's you, darling.
And if we talk about
I'm
wolves and
not a
stuff,
predator.
the fire usually keeps them away, to be fair.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll go and gather some wood.
I'm going to suggest a lot of wood because it burns quick. Can I see, is there, what kind of trees are they? Like, what kind of thickness are the trees or the wood around?
It's very sparse, and any wood that you do find is wet. A lot of trees have been
So-
knocked over. I would say each of you can give me either nature or survival on a check here, and each of you can choose whichever one you want. It's just a straight roll.
See how this evening's going.
Did you get 2 again? No.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, I got 12 on nature.
I mean, it makes sense. I grew up in the city. I haven't a
And a
fucking clue.
14.
Nice.
So, okay, that all
14
came
was the
through to me a
highest.
little late. So 14 was the highest. So Dash got a 6, Hatsu got a 14, Eos got a 12, Slate got a 5, and Amadriana got a 10. Dash, You don't notice much. The trees, no trees. Who cares? This is a cold place. You could give two shits about it. Slate, pretty much the same, but you're more focused on like the fire that you currently have and keeping that going. So you're asking people questions. You're not discerning things yourself.
What I'd like to do is focus inwardly on the camp, and I'd like to, if you build a frame with 4 pieces of wood, just thin pieces of wood, and then you get any leftover brush, you make like a windbreaker. So I'm focusing on doing that, in making them at strategic points, which brings the inward temperature of the camp up, and then the tents are in there and the fire's in there. So I'm not doing anything else. That's what I'm doing.
And Hatsu would assist by taking out the shovel out of the bag and make some kind of stairways into one side of the wall so they get easier out.
Okay. While this is happening, Madriana, strategically speaking, you're in an advantageous spot. But again, there isn't much in the line of wood or trees. There are some old ones, and quite a few that have been knocked over, but they'd be damp from the snow. It just would be natural part of it. And they'd be pretty frozen. So you start sort of putting them into piles and putting them away and putting maybe some in the end of tents and stuff just to give you wood for later to, you know, work on.
Try it out.
Yeah. Eos and Hatsu. What you guys establish from the following statement is up to you.
That's not ominous.
This place has a sporadic tree line. There are not many places that you would ever know of, coming from Arboris especially. Actually, that's a nice coincidence, you both come from Arboris. Both of you would know that trees generally, like, they're trees. They have seeds. Seeds fall from the trees, they grow, they spread. A sporadic tree line isn't indicative of trees growing, but more the end of a cycle of trees.
Eos will be walking around. She has a little hand axe. It's actually, I'll just click on it here to make it do a thingy. And she's going to be walking around trying to chop off any... So when a trunk of a tree falls, there's branches on it. And the branches grow in different random places. She'll choose any of the branches from the highest point above where she would suspect the tides coming in, making it wet. So the wood she's gathering is drier and more likely to dry out next to the fire before it's needed to be put on the fire. She's going around chopping. She's noticing this, and she's taking a mental note that this seems like either some kind of deforestation or famine. That's what she's doing.
Hatsu would definitely go over to Amadriana, whatever she's doing after he finished the stairs. Well, I guess that might be a good idea to send Albie out to have a look around if you won't mind.
As long as you keep an eye on me, I'm happy to do so.
I will.
She'll find a spot where she can sit and not get like soaked from the snow and stuff. And as she gives this kind of little like tweet, this kind of little Albie will come out from, he basically sits in her pack where her wings are. Her wings are away now as well. And he kind of shuffles out and sits up on the shoulder, and she's going to mentally instruct him to have a good look around, but stay within distance that he can let me know if there's something wrong.
Okay. For every hour that he's out, I'll give you a perception check. Just to sort of space them out and not be like every 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. So you can have a perception check anytime you like, just basically coursing through every hour.
Sure. We'll say we give the initial check and then it'll be every hour after this one then. Okay. If that's okay.
Perfect. Yep.
in in relation to setting up defenses perimeter like this, early activation, within my bag I have a bell and I have string, etc. So obviously that's a limited use and limited ground, but considering we have the ship and water to one side of us, we're not too far from it. On one of the other sides, can for whatever it's worth, can I temporarily deploy that somewhere, a couple of 100 feet away, close enough that I think we will hear it, but far enough away that gives us some time, whatever depth I think that is. And again, it's with the idea of Albie being able to hear it or see it or be attracted to it rather than us. So I'm doing it to assist what else is being done, and it's a fire and a forget for me. I'm just going to put it out there and hope that if it happens, the bird will detect it.
Sure, just mark them off your list.
Yeah.
And Majorna, you'll have advantage on any subsequent checks if I feel like there's a reason for such thing, like interactions from the environment beyond that, like with the bell and with the rope.
Yep, no problem.
Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll give you advantage on all of the checks because you'll have something you're focusing on. So that makes sense to me. To give you advantage.
Okay,
So you'll have
cool.
advantage on all the further checks for that. Okay. So you've eaten. The campfire is beginning to die down, but I believe you're setting up a fire near the tents to kind of give you more night warmth. A wise choice. By the time you're already setting up the tents, they are beginning to harden from the frost, but the campfire negates that and thaws that out. I'm trying to think. I think Slate would be the only one who knows this, and your choice to spread this information is up to you or not. But you've spent a lot of time in Penzance, another frozen area, although on a different island. These things tend to get colder the further in you go. With the wind and with the way things are, if you're just walking through these wastes, if you guys get hit in the wide open, you're going to have nothing to protect you. So you have the icy cold winds coming from the water, and that in itself is a threat, and it's cold, but you have protection from the environment around you, what Majan had located. But it's a long, long ways between here and the first stop.
So I'll explain that to the guys, and I'll further the fact that although there's a sea breeze, the sea breeze you'd imagine would bring the temperature down. It also has salt, which helps to melt the ice. So the further in you go, the less salt you have within the air. So you also lose that. And then if you look at the deforestation here, it has access to, water. There could be minerals in the soil, but the further we go, we might not have any trees or indigenous life that we could use in any way. So
Who the fuck chooses to live out here? This is awful.
You don't always choose where you get to live. Sometimes you just live where you have to.
You can choose where you're staying. Ugh.
For the
Palperoth is really
fire,
coming out in you, Dash.
Well,
For
at
the
least
fire.
trekking is a little bit easier, right?
in the short term, immediately afterwards, yeah. I'm going to explain all this while I'm working on the fire, and I'm going to create a V shape, so two longer pieces. You cut all the logs and you rest them in it, and the fire's in the middle, so as they burn, it's like an auto loader. The logs just keep rolling in, and they're drying as they move closer.
Someone's
So that
watched
way,
Vikings.
when you're asleep, it auto burns. Basically, it just keeps burning. So as long as you stack it and prepare it well, you don't have to tend it. It just burns itself. So when you're all asleep, it still burns. So you don't lose the light or the fire or the warmth or anything like that.
Note to self: invite Richard on the next camping trip.
I know, man. At mountain
Yeah.
climbing and like frozen biomes, Richard knows his shit.
Well, I've got more, but I don't want to give it all now because you've just said it's going to be treacherous. So I'm hanging on to some of it for that.
Oh yeah, man.
I've got more.
I will reward that behavior in some way.
Okay. So how much distance are we going to cover tomorrow?
As much as you can walk. Don't worry about it.
Ugh. This is not comfortable. I don't like it.
Well, if I might be allowed to intervene, it's quite exhausting to walk in the snow. So we shouldn't shoot too high. I think 20 kilometers is fair. And we also should look for shelter early enough.
Okay, and how far is Dagthorpe? Anyone know?
Who did pick up the map? I don't know if I have it.
I think it was given to Slate, wasn't it?
I think so. Wait, Madriana, is Deck Torp where Decker's vault/mine is?
No, it's a different island.
It's
Don't
on
forget
the
that.
way, I think. We were told not to go near it.
That's a place where, yeah. Remington said, "Don't dare go there."
You know what that
Shouldn't go there.
means? That means don't go there, right?
I know, but it kind of means I want to go there. You know, it's like don't push the big red button. Then you want to see what the big red button does.
Eos is just giving Dash the biggest glare, or like the baddest eye ever.
All I'm going to say, Dash, is do you want to be the one that ends up in the green gloop in a jar?
No, I don't.
Then
wanna
probably don't go
see-
near it.
Fine. Fine.
Just saying.
Well, how do we organize the guards for the night?
I can take first watch because I don't think I'll be falling asleep easy anyway.
I think we should mix it a little bit strategically. So
I can take first and last.
I mean, we technically 8 people, right? So 2 each should be enough.
These tents don't look large enough for all of us. What are the sleeping arrangements?
It's 2-man tents, so
How many do we have?
we have, I think we have 4. Yeah.
So 2 in each.
Mhm.
I opt to bunk with Eos if she doesn't mind. Dash, let me make this easy for you. I think you should bunk up with Lissa.
I think Lisa can make her own choices. Not going to force myself.
Well, to give Ayami a little bit of privacy, Slate, would you mind to share a tent with me?
No problem. I guess you're gonna talk less than Dash, so that's a win.
Well, then I'll just bunk with Ayami.
That works.
Someone's gonna freeze tonight.
As discussed before, I'm using chicken as the fur-lined hood, obviously, 'cause that's a win for both of us as well. So that's going on at the minute.
Yeah,
You
Dash just has the winter
layers.
clothes on, and yeah, Dash is layering up as well. He has the face covering on. He has like his leather armor on. He has the winter clothes on. He has the boots on.
Sleeper
He's just
bag
like,
up, the hood up, like wrapped
Sleeper
around.
bag
You
up.
just see his face like Kenny from South Park.
yeah, literally.
And what
I'm
are the watch arrangements?
I'll go in the center.
Well, I'm happy to do the first one. What I'd like to do, and this may interfere with the watch, or I might do it separately. And well, I'm going to say it to the guys that seeing as we have access to, for example, a small amount of wood, we have presumably some kindling or whatever, and we have an opportunity to dry some wood. I'm going to say that we should take between us a small amount of this, because if we need to build a fire at a later date and we can't find anything, we'll be in trouble. So if we can carry some kindling or a few bits that we have access to while we have it. Additionally, I'm going to ask, and this is totally up to you, Ken. In my bag, I have a load of things like, for example, I have a hammer, a crowbar, and then I've got pittons. So that's the equivalent of, could be used as nails, big nails. So what I want to see is if I could get some wood and make a roughshod version of a sled, not for people, but for a small bit of
Supplies.
gear or equipment. Yeah. Because if I could get any piece and make it so it doesn't matter if it's like flat, like a table flat, but a piece that would hold items. It can be, you know, bowl shaped, it doesn't matter. Any piece of wood that I can put items on and then create 2 makeshift skis that again don't have to be perfect, because once they're on top of the snow and they're being dragged by a rope, it just takes the weight off your shoulders and weighing you into the snow, but could allow us to carry, like I said, a small bit of supplies or whatever have you. And on top of that, I have tinkering's tools. So I don't know if that's what you want to go for or something else to MacGyver that together. And I'm asking everybody for help. I'm telling everybody about this isn't a secret thing before we go on the watch. I'm suggesting everybody takes wood and we try and make something to lighten the load for everybody.
Hang on, Slate, would this work? Can I just take out a wooden shield, a round wooden shield?
I'm going to suggest that you just do that anyway for yours, but we should make more than one, because if we only have one and it falls or goes, it's gone. So that would definitely work.
Cool. Actually, this might be useful for sitting on for whoever's on watch, so you don't get your ass wet.
That's a good shout. Would I be able to, Magiana helping obviously gather whatever Slate needed and stuff, would I also be able to help in that, like on the boat, she's going to try and use the brief bit of magic she's got to affix it together to make it a bit more sturdy?
Using like mending or something? Yeah. I'll probably allow it. I'll allow that as your help action. It's a good flourish for it, so I would allow that, yeah. I don't see why not. I won't even make you guys do a check with all the support that you're getting and everything you just said. There's no need for a check. It's absolutely fine. There are two things to note with the sled. Because it's a large item, regardless of the and it's technically a vehicle, but regardless of the fact that you're building it perfectly and everything, there are going to be obstacles that take a little longer. So this will slow you down, but it'll allow you to bring more with you, and therefore, obviously, your journey may be a little or a lot easier depending on where you are. This is not by any stretch an easy journey to make. So it is a good idea to, do these things and think of these things. So I'm not punishing that whatsoever. So it will be just a little bit slower, that's all, but that's fine. You will also have to take turns in groups of, say, 2, depending how much wood you're bringing, to pull it, which would be probably for the best.
I was going to suggest groups of 2, make 3 sledges with 2 on auxiliary, so that if someone gets particularly tired, they can swap out or round robin it.
While we're making it, I think obviously if we had some kind of a post on it and then we had ropes that went like sled dogs out the front, whoever's at the front could drag it, but then maybe 2 like wing bars to the side where people could drive it if it was to get stuck, or to lift it over something they could stand and lift at the sides if needed. So it's just a preparational thing if possible. And obviously the whole point of this, I'm saying to everybody, is that if at any point we have to jettison it, we can. If we need to use it for a windbreak, we can flip it over. If we need to burn it, whatever we need to do with it, it gives us options. That's my suggestion.
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
Also, whee!
It immediately breaks because Dash slides down the first hill he sees.
For the record, I obviously put away all my tools, my hammer, my crowbar. The hooded lantern, etc., is not on it. I simply have it, and I will attach it to the post if required. So it is not on it for now. I just have it if we need it.
I don't know why, out of character for a second, I don't know why we're just talking about doing all this. I have a little chill at the back of my neck here.
I'm
that
cold as well, yeah. I'm feeling
like,
it. I was going to turn on the heating. We should go to Lake Palperoth next, so we just feel a bit warmer.
Yeah, I'm down for that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, as you guys are working into the night and building your sled, it's mostly quiet. I'll get, for the sled building time, I'm gonna get probably 2 checks for Albie. Yeah, you can have advantage on both.
Okay. That's a 19 for a 22 total.
Yeah.
And the second one is a 19 for a 22 total.
Right. On both,
Consistency.
the information that you get is that there are wild animals here. There are sheep and stuff, the occasional fox, things like that. In terms of threats, there would be the occasional bear around the place, but it's not near you. It's not close. It's just something that Albie would pick up. It's also not looking for you. They seem content with the ram and the sheep and the stuff that it gets.
Okay.
A couple of hours walk from you are some mountains and a mountain range that seems to trace the entire land the whole way down. Whilst looking at the map, it gives you a directional point because you know Dagtorp's location within the range of the mountains. It's nearby. Yeah, I think that's mostly it.
Okay, so when Albie says about a sheep nearby, I'm gonna go and kill it.
Okay.
Bring it back to the. Actually, I am gonna kill it. However, I'm gonna drag Hatsu along, if you will. Reason being is because I want to butcher it away from the camp. Take as much meat as we can carry back to the camp, leaving the rest there, so that if it does attract a creature, it's far enough away from us.
Got it, boss.
But I know that in snow and stuff, you need to have a lot more calories because you burn a lot more through movement and stuff. So trying to keep us well stocked up with meat. And basically, the idea would be that overnight we smoke the meat as such to...
Jerky.
Yeah, essentially.
Sure.
While we're talking about sheep, I had a note here. I was going to wait, but seeing as it's just come up now, you said there was sheep in the pit, dead sheep. Are they
Dead sheep.
preserved? Yeah, but are they preserved because of the ice, or are they rotten? Is there wool? Is there meat?
No.
Like what shape are they in?
They're at least a year old, so they're quite old. There's not much in terms of like usable material from them.
Perfect.
And it would be very advantageous to get down there and back as well. Not impossible. You
Yeah.
guys have equipment, but
Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. Thanks.
there is material on the sheep that Majorana just butchered.
Oh, if you're asking for sheepskin, then yeah, she'll peel that off so it can be tanned as much as we can.
Well, we're gonna forget about that, and 4 more sessions, Ken's gonna be like, "You smell something awful."
Don't forget.
I know, because it'll be smoked with the meat as well. Because you dry out the skin part of it and then peel it off so that it leaves that hide exterior, but the inner part that's mucousy and horrible is gone.
You know, between yourself and Richard, I'm kind of like, you guys have a past that I don't think I want to know about.
The skin will work as waterproofing, like to make your bag into a dry bag, or if there's enough of it.
What the fuck you
you
guys
know,
been up to?
You
There's
can
loads of
line
things
a
you can do.
boat with it, and it'll actually keep the boat completely waterproof.
Yeah, we got this.
Do not fuck with Ryan or Richard.
Oh, you better believe it.
Although I know who I'm bringing on camping next time. The night pushes on. You come back with your meat. It's not hard to fashion.
Sorry. I'm a child. Sorry.
It's not difficult to fashion a cooler box for the excess meats and whatever produce. You leave the slaughtered remains far enough away from camp to serve as a distraction. Yeah. It's pushing
Actually-
on to that point of night where we're going to start doing watches. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're okay.
We know what's here, right? We've been told this. Did I see, when we're going to get this sheep and to do this, do I see any traces of that? Giant fucking claw marks in trees, paw prints that haven't quite set into the ice or snow.
Make a survival check.
I suddenly miss playing Ranger.
Not bad. So that's 17 total.
You do not find any claw marks or anything that would indicate that, but you're also very aware of how far away you are from, for example, Hartwell. If you were to check a little closer, possibly, but here is
Yeah, I
a
just wanted to
little too far.
check. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just checking the spread of their influence.
Also, for just posterity, I meant to say, Richard, the boat was automated that brought you here and already left as well. It's not a requirement, it was magical, and there's no requirement for you to use a boat going home. It's already been taken care of, so.
Perfect, thanks.
Just in case you're looking for it or anything like that, I don't want it to mess up your plans. Yeah. So, sorry, what's the watch order? If you're even doing one, I'm not forcing you to, it's just you guys mentioned it, so.
always smart to take a watch. I'm happy to go first. Are we doing it in pairs or one at a time?
Do it in pairs. Somebody wake me up for the third watch. I'll take third
Yeah.
and fourth together.
I'm in the middle.
Hatsu would help Dash though. And besides watching in between, he would use the cooking kit. Is it a cooking kit? Cooks utensils.
Sure.
He would look for like a pot, and during their shift, he would start melting snow to fill up the water skins.
The water skins should be full already, so you should be okay, but that's still a good tip. I might just make them be empty just for that, because it was pretty cool. Yeah, that works. And you fill Dashes with seawater, because you really like salty water, apparently. So.
Just leave the pot full of water tied to the sled, so we've got extra. Even if it refreezes, it can remelt it, but it's still can still be stored in the pot.
Nice.
I don't think we'll be short of snow on this journey.
We might be short on time or the ability to light a fire, give away our position, and/or sterilize the water, though.
My
Fair
God,
enough.
Richard, it's almost like you've played in one of my campaigns before.
Or like my character has spent some time in the unforgiving winter,
Also,
or in a
far
previous
enough-
campaign.
Yeah. Far enough away from camp as well. We're going to make a berry pit as well, obviously.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. Yeah. So, sorry, Dash, you're going first with Hatsu?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. I need a perception check or investigation from both of you, or advantage to one.
Yeah, do investigation.
Oh
Oh no. Hatsu, we were counting on you, man. Oh my God, Dash is so much more perceptive. Hatsu with a 7 and Dash with an 18.
Because Dash is so cold, he's complaining he can't nod off or get comfortable, so he's just
We've
wired.
just gone into that
hyper-aware.
weird hyper focus. Yeah.
So
Oh,
Dash,
so cold.
one thing you notice is that within the confines of your tent is Gusto. And you hear prayer. And for some reason that catches your ear. It's a little bit strange. Gusto doesn't usually pray unless he's shouting, Minerva be praised.
Or Tempestus.
Or Tempestus. Or
Or the
you know,
twins.
Or the twins. Or, you know,
All of the above.
or the above. You open the tent just enough just to look inside. And you can't quite catch what it is that he's saying. Just like I can't quite catch my words. And he is praying intensely. And it might be a rare moment of sincerity. You caught it last week when he was upset with the group, and this week he's a little bit lost for words. This is the longest silence you've heard from him. So you just stand and listen. Just muttering, so you pick up on occasional words. Things were supposed to be different. Not sure how I got here. Not sure why I'm here.
If I could, hearing those, what I might do is take a few moments to write a little note and try, without interrupting, just kind of slip it into the pocket of his leather jacket next to his cigarettes, I assume.
Yeah. He's wearing it, but I'll say it's fine. He's lost in prayer, so it's okay. And he holds out his hands as if in expectation of something to appear. There's a faint aura and a faint glow. And he begins to chant in a way that you've only been familiar with from one other person in your party. That would be a Madriana, when she casts a spell specifically. It's the same type of chanting, the same type of spell casting. Eos is more internal as she casts spells. She has verbal spells, but it's a more internal thing. But a Madriana vocalizes what she's doing. Gusto, usually when he's doing spells, it's a bit sporadic, it's a bit different, and normally leans into the way that Eos would cast spells, but in this one instance, it's something different. His skin begins to glow a strange purplish hue. And he suddenly sits bolt upright and looks at you, Dash. And he's gone. There's a faint aura of smoke as it hits the ground. With that, you're not particularly overwhelmed with a sense of, like, he didn't know what he was doing. But there is a sense of, you're not sure he meant to do exactly that either. But it brings you back to how you met. Quite a similar situation. A loud pop, sudden fire, and in the same chaotic burst he comes and goes.
Kind of think to myself, okay, I'm sure he's up to something. So I guess I'm alone in my tent tonight. Fine. Go back out and resume
As
the
you
watch.
do,
I'll
there's a
let
rustling
Hatsu
beneath
know.
your foot. And you just move your foot and you find one little baggie. Empty. And it says dash and go.
Oh, keeping that in my pocket. Fill it with snow. Just for the effect for the moment, till it melts.
Absolutely. It immediately melts. Yeah, you go back to Hatsu.
How are you doing, Hatsu?
Well, I try to adjust to this new environment. Sometimes I'm used to the winters, but this area is quite different than what I'm used to.
Same, it is. Even Penzance didn't have quite this chill to it. I'm struggling.
No, it doesn't get better if you always mention it.
I know, I'll adjust in a while. I just need to whinge this evening and I'll be fine tomorrow. It's just the initial shock of it. But
Well, there's
it'll be
a
fine.
little trick I want to share with you that I learned from my mother, actually.
Oh, please.
If you collect some of the stones on the beach, little pebble stones, and you put them in the fire, they will warm your clothes if you put them inside at nights.
Oh, that's very clever. Oh, thank you.
Have you seen anything unusual?
Aside from the company that we keep, yeah, Gusto's done something. He appears to have vanished.
Vanished to do something, or
He was
vanished the way he came?
kind of like the way he came. He was chanting, and there was like a pop and smoke, and he's not there anymore.
Did he leave something, a note or something?
Nothing.
But he did have his stuff on him. That's worth noting. Like, it wasn't... He had his bag, he had his jacket.
He's not running naked around Palperot somewhere.
Right,
Yeah.
I just want to clarify, yeah, that he's not, like, just in his jock somewhere, like...
Yeah. Yeah, no, him and just everything connected to him, all as in everything he was wearing, just evaporated, kind of.
So either if it was an accident or intentionally, I guess he needed his space a little.
Yeah. Seems like it.
I just hope he doesn't get catched off guard in this environment, wherever he did go to.
I hope so. I'm impressed he managed to stay hidden as long as he did in Balboroth, because I've seen what happens to magic users in Balboroth. It is not good. He told me he worked for the Archon. I didn't believe him at first, but that's the only person I can think of who would give him that kind of protection.
Well, I guess if you're by yourself long enough, you will come up with all sorts of stories to make your life a little bit more colorful.
I don't think they were stories. I think there was a lot of embellishment, but I think there's a lot of truth behind what he was saying.
Might have picked up something. He might have been the chosen one from the gods. I guess he has to
Oh,
find out
if he
himself
was, we are so fucked.
who he is.
Yeah, we all do in essence, don't we?
Well, there's sometimes people are a test for you, and sometimes you're the test for others, I guess.
And sometimes, Hatsu, I am the test for myself.
Always
He's also
the
a
case,
test
I think.
for me.
I thought you were sleeping.
It's nothing.
Well, I made some water if you need some. It's not salty, but it will do its job, I guess.
Do you think we could make some tea out of anything that we have?
Do you have tea with you?
No. Is there any bushes or anything around that?
I'm sorry.
Is there
that's the
convenient?
way-
Is there convenient mint herb placed anywhere?
Not,
I think you
not
should
here.
use
It's-
herbs and stuff that you're not familiar with to make a tea if you want to die quick.
Teas predominantly come from a different isle, unfortunately. But
So water will have to do. Thank you, Hatsu.
meanwhile, Eos is asleep on her pillow made of tea bags.
Well, who did want to make the second guard watch? Did you reckon?
Madriana wanted at some point, kind of in the middle of it all.
Madriana said third and fourth, so I'll do one
Oh,
of those.
Jesus, Slate, you're awake.
You turned
Well,
around, it
would
wasn't
you
even
be-
Hatsu at all, it was just Slate. That's Hatsu,
Would you be
Hatsu.
okay if I would wake Ayame to assist you?
Sorry, were you talking to me there?
To Slate.
Slate.
Sure, yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So
Any
Hatsu
help?
would wake up Ayame and then go to sleep.
Yami will sit very quietly beside Slate. But she'll help you.
There's just kind of, as we're doing a switch over, I just want to have a quick sidebar with Slate or bedding down. You remember the thing you did with the note for Remington? Is that
Yeah.
something you're very practiced in?
I mean, what do you want me to write or make?
Do you think you could replicate this pretty easily, and I'll take out the autograph I have from Simildecker?
I'd say I've got a pretty good chance. I mean, I might have to try it a few times, but yeah, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, just I have a feeling that a note from Decker might get us out of some spicy situations down the line.
As he's saying that, I hastily scribble the exact same signature, even a crappily version of it, and turn into my best interpretation of Decker in front of him, and I go, like this?
Exactly like that. Good job. Enjoy your watch. I'll try to sleep.
So I'll just make a mental note of the signature, and I'll start practicing it, and I'm going to just absentmindedly do that on my watch while I sit, just like the equivalent of lines, you know what I mean? I will not, whatever. Just write that over and over and over and over while I'm walking around, looking around.
As Dash is going back to his tent, Lissa just leans out and starts hitting him with a shoe. Just go to fucking sleep. Stop talking to everybody. I'm trying to sleep here, and you're just an ox.
Are you cranky?
She just hits you again with the shoe and just goes back into her tent. 20 points of bludgeoning.
It's fucking cold. Shut up.
20 points? What hit me with a stiletto?
Yeah.
God damn, just stuck in the forehead.
Yeah. It was a different shoe every time.
That's going to be our rogue name, the Stiletto.
Stiletto, yeah. She goes back and she just closes the tent and she's just pissed. Ayami sits next to Slate as he practices autographs. Slate, I'll give you advantage on a check because it's an NPC. But
Perfect.
because it's Ayami, I'll give you a +3 to your situational bonus.
Perfect. What I thought we would do is obviously, keep warm, maybe just keep more or less quiet and focused, and then just take turns doing perimeter patrols together, or go opposite ways and meet up and whatever have you, that type of stuff. So what would you like me to roll for my
Investigation or perception, I'll give it to you.
So 3 for the situational.
+3 situational, yeah.
So I just put in a flat 3 and that's it. And then am I rolling, did you say advantage?
Yeah.
$25.
I mean, sure. The gods themselves are witnessed by Slate. 25 is crazy, man. There's no struggle, no issues. You take your patrols, you go around and you make sure that everything's safe. The craziest things you guys see is mostly just a couple bats and stuff like that. Nothing out of this world. Nothing outrageous. It's relatively quiet night.
For me, while it's absolutely cold and there's no denying that there's an icy chill, I specifically, roll my sleeves back just a tiny bit so there's a little bit on the wrist that I can just get that little bit more of the breeze. Not that I'm stripped off entirely or anything, but I do enjoy it. And it's, as all the times I sat on the cold tiles in the castle bathroom with the window open, it's the same type of thing. It's something that he's used to for short periods of patrolling, rather than getting warm, walking around, etc. He enjoys the breeze, or I enjoy the breeze. So that's something I would be covered up, but I would still have little bits of maybe a tiny bit around the neck or a tiny bit at the wrist where little bits of cold air can get in, but not in any negative or detrimental way. It's just something like the opposite, like a warm summer's breeze. It's just something that I enjoy. So that would be something that I would be doing. That's it.
Slade, does it hurt when you change your shape?
Used to. Like anything, you get better with practice. That, or I've felt more pain that now that doesn't register as pain. One or the other. Same thing, I guess.
Are you afraid you'll forget your own natural visage, or?
I mean, you say your own natural visage, but everybody changes. You change your hair, you change your clothes. Depending on what you eat, your body changes. Nobody stays the same anyway. I just might do it more regularly and quicker than you do.
Yeah. It must be useful in some ways. Do you like that you have this ability, or is it a burden to you?
It's fine now. There hasn't been a problem now. Where we've just come from, magic is fine. But you know yourself, out there is not the same. Where we're going is probably not the same. So, blessing and a curse, I guess.
Are you ever tempted to just disguise yourself as the Archon and walk away with his vault, or walk into the banks of Palperoth like the owner, just disappear with as much gold as you can carry?
You'd be amazed how hard things like that are to do on your own.
Do you find it more difficult to walk a path of honor with an ability that leans into something so easy for someone dishonorable to abuse?
I think everything in life is perspective. Perspective is reality. If you think what you're doing is good, then you're the good guy. If you think what you're doing is right, then you're righteous. The problem with perspective is it changes with hindsight. It changes with new information. Therefore, nobody's entirely good or entirely bad because your perspective shifts and changes as you grow and learn. So in the moment, you're one thing, and in another moment, you're another, much like my abilities. So live in the moment. Be who you are when you are. Change it when you need to.
I hope it's not rude to ask you questions. I've never met someone with your abilities before.
I've only recently met somebody with my abilities.
Or
So,
others.
the school there was one of the teachers. It's unusual.
I can imagine that would be a very lucrative ability. If you wanted to, you could get into security. You could become anything.
Yeah, possibly. The problem is every time you use it, you have to get lucky. You only have to be unlucky once, and then somebody knows your secret. And depending on who knows it, who knows what they'll do with it. And everything you've built, the life that you have for yourself, the wealth, the riches, the friends, you have to leave them all behind and move on. Or stay and face the music. Like I said, those things are hard to do alone.
I guess through context, the islands would feel very small if everybody was looking for you. Even with your powers.
Yep. That's why I spent a lot of time alone. The less you have, the easier it is to pick up and move on. The less bonds, the less material items, the easier and quicker it is to just turn and walk away.
Well, for what it's worth, you have our blades. Hatsu and I, we will always be at your side if you want us to be. I'm sure the rest of the party and they would do the same.
I feel the same way. That's why I'm still here. When I first went to the school, my plan was never to stay. But then I found myself day by day, I guess. And I gesture to everything in the campsite and everyone, accumulating things.
Is there anything that we can do to help you?
To be honest, I've said this to some of the others. I don't remember my past. I've lived so many lives. I don't really remember who I am. And like I said, it's more about who I am in the now. So I'm still trying to figure out who and what I am. So I have no idea. But if something comes up, I'll remember the offer.
She just nods, and as you continue walking through the snow and doing your round, you hear a shuffling of noise and you look over, and a rabbit just leaps up and snatches one of the bats out of the air and pins it to the ground. She shines the moonlight with her blade just across like a torch, and you see the rabbit's red eyes as it just starts to devour the bat. She just shakes her head and keeps walking. The rest of the walk is, and the round and the evening, the night, the watch is uneventful. All of it. Who's next?
I do believe I said that I'd take third and fourth.
All right.
And Eos had vocally said they would take the middle, so therefore I would assume that Eos would be woken next, so I would probably make my way over to her tent to wake her before going into my own.
Yeah, my
Because I would
assumption there,
assume that it's
'cause there
her.
was 6 of us, there would have been 3 rounds, but my assumption was to be the second, but we'll go third.
There's normally 4, right?
It's
Every
gonna
2
be 4.
hours.
Every 2 hours for 8
Oh,
hours. There's
Based
4
it on
of us.
Yeah.
the
So you're in the middle, yeah, one way or the other.
mats. Yeah.
You're still fine.
Interestingly, how does Ayami or Slate wake a Madriana up?
I would say Yami approaches your tent and is probably... what I was expecting to happen was you just to be going, I'm awake. But honestly, Ayami would very...
She does rest. She's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ayami would
I-
carefully wake Amadriana, not just jump in and go, wake up, wake up, wake up! But just like very carefully lean in and try and just subtly wake you, not to wake everyone around you.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, she after a couple of nudges, she would be alert enough to get up. Make sure you get your rest, won't you? It's gonna be a long day tomorrow.
She nods and she heads back in, and Lucy, all you hear is a faint thing of Lucy like, oh, for God's sake, I just got to sleep.
Oh, I pity Dash in the morning. Good evening, Eos.
Eos, just for noting, she doesn't actually sleep. She's always in a transient state when she's resting. So she just literally opens her eyes and... Okay, how do we do this?
Let me check in with Albie first, and we'll just see how the evening's been so far, shall we? She'll see, Eos will see the eyes just glow that little bit bluer than it normally does. And check in with Albie and see what he sees.
Yeah, you get your check with advantage. Yeah.
Verse 18.
Unsurprisingly, Albie does find the carcass of a dead bat.
Okay.
Besides that, there isn't too much going on. Even the wildlife has come almost to a standstill during the night itself. There isn't too much out there.
Is this like desert colds? Like it's got so cold that nothing
Very.
really can move?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very cold. But to your delight, Albie has notified you that the sun is rising, and that they can see it. So therefore, you are a few minutes away.
Okay. Have you ever seen the sunrise, Eos?
Oh, many time. Many time. For most days that I've been awake within my mind, I always practiced at the dawn.
The first time I saw it was on the island.
What?
Furdoir isn't exactly the sort of place where you get to see the sunrise very often. Too built up.
Oh, I've heard of this. Light pollution.
It's more towering buildings that you can't see past. I've seen many a sun set on the rooftops, but rarely have I ever seen a sunrise.
Embrace it. Every single one is unique, beautiful in each of its own, every single way.
Like us?
Perhaps, but consider this. This may be the last sunrise you ever see.
It's a very sobering thought, Eos, I will say.
No, it is a challenge for you to embrace today.
As quirky as you are, Yas, I do find you quite inspirational.
Oh. Impossible.
Improbable? Maybe. Impossible? Never.
I must ask you, though. What are the sleds going to do?
How do you mean?
We have the magic rucksack.
Yes, but even that has limited space available. This is more that, should we find ourselves somewhere where there's no wood that can be used to burn, we've carried enough with us to be able to take and use. You know yourself, I mean, maybe you don't. But from what I've learned through my recent teachings, especially what you've been helping me with, it seems that there are places where magics don't work quite as they should. So I think to rely on one's magical talents solely is not a best practice.
True. And if the magic rucksack gets magically stolen,
There's
we
that
have
too.
sleds. Yeah.
Could be dropped in a crevice, it could be pilfered, as you said.
Yeah.
How is your sword training coming?
It is good. Hasti was teaching me well. He's an incredible master of his own arts. Although the whole making me not be able to see in darkness is crazy. I wouldn't suspect it, but he is amazing.
Maybe he's trying to show you weaknesses that you need to work on.
This is true.
I saw a weakness in myself when Slate was able to best me as easily as he did. Now, thanks to you, I have some tricks up my sleeve that might help.
Ah, you have many. Each and every time I see you, there's something new. If we roll back a few weeks, I wouldn't have suspected you to be able to cast magic. Yet here you are with beautiful, stunning Albie. Your eye in the sky.
He is rather pretty, isn't he?
Improbable, like you said.
Yes. But not impossible.
Oh, nothing's impossible.
There we go. Your lesson for the day is, nothing's impossible. My lesson for the day is, live each day as if it's your last.
You must.
Tell me, did you bring some of your tea? I would love some.
I got 6 bags. Hang on.
Good girl.
She like opens up where she has her pants side up to her sock. She opens up one of the left socks and she takes a little tea bag from her sock. She pops it in one of the copper pans and here you go. Bit of snow, bish bosh boom, turns into tea.
Somewhere faint in the back of Dash's mind, he's dreaming of a cup of tea.
His nose is just twitching. Like,
Is it like Captain Hook's Tash when he hears a talking?
Yeah.
Great
exactly
movie.
that. Yeah.
Great movie.
Might even be able to live action RP that Tash Twitch next week.
Ah,
Yeah.
How quick do you think my mustache grows?
I've seen how quick your mustache grows. That's why I said next week.
I must ask you a question.
Oh, think of the mustache puns.
No,
like, yes.
no, I'm leaving this Discord. No, goodbye.
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Shut her down, boys. We had a good run.
So, I'm guessing me and Eos finish off the night then because neither of us need to rest anymore.
Well, what I'll get first is the first 2 hours. So I'll get you to perception or investigation.
perception.
I'm going to go for investigation because I would be scouting the area around us.
Nice. Use would literally be sitting with her tea in her hand looking around.
Ryan, do you ever roll in the middle, or is it always just?
No.
There's another one for your list, Ryan. And somehow it's you again. Not one from Ryan for 6, and a 13 from Eos.
So she gets up, she goes to look around, trips over a log, and just face plants straight into the snow.
Of course, she does that.
Jumps
I
up.
can't see it.
Jumps up immediately, and just looks at Eos like, "Don't you fucking dare tell anyone."
I'm gonna
Eos
go.
has her mug.
I'm gonna go one further and say you stumble into the tent with Lissa and Ayami, and Lissa's like, "Fuck!" and she comes out. "Who was it?" And she sees you, and she's like, "Oh, excuse me, sorry, I didn't quite know that it was you. I will just go back to bed." And she just zips, goes back into her.
Listen, you little bitch.
What a shanked you for it, Dash.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't want to tussle with a mage runner.
I wonder why.
With that in mind, there isn't much noticed over the course of the 2 hours. And you do approach the tail end of the night. Those of you who get 4 hours sleep are probably now waking up or have just woken up over the course of the last 2 hours. Anything you need to prepare, now is that time. Those of you who get 8 hours sleep, don't forget that it is usually 6, so you may be starting to wake up now or over the course of the next 2 hours. Same reason, it's usually preparation. The 8 hours encompasses you needing to prepare spells or do whatever. In the rules of our campaign, this doesn't count necessarily as a long rest, but it does contribute to your long rest. For the last 2 hours, there's no need to watch much as the light just begins to emerge. The sunlight begins to take over, and a new dawn is upon us.
Shall we pack up these sleds and get ready to go?
Freddy's waking up.
I go collect my bell and string.
Okay. Damn it, Matt. You may keep your bell and string. Absolutely.
Eos is going to go down to shore and use her fishing equipment and try and catch a fish for breakfast.
Absolutely. So
Animal handling.
Animal handling.
Let's go.
You might actually be able to roll the rod as well. I'm not sure.
I got a 13.
Nice. I'll set up the roll on that if you message me on Discord and just remind me, so you can just roll that in the future and it'll do it for you.
I'll send you a fantastic gif.
That'll work too. 13. Yeah, you catch enough fish for you and one other person.
Hell yeah.
So I'll take it.
Yeah.
In what you rolled in chat, there's a D10 for what you get and how much it feeds.
Catch results vary by D10 roll.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
That's true, but I don't seem to like when I click in it in Foundry again. I don't know. It could just be me. I'm doing it wrong.
I can do that for you. Sorry, you're absolutely right. I didn't even read that. Sorry.
There's no.
This might save you some effort.
Yep.
Like
that'll
it's
do
not
it.
a. What's the word?
I'll do it for you now. Right? It's okay.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. What was it? D10?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Like, when you
start.
have the thing, and then it would say action, blah 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 blah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Adriana's going to start wrapping up the jerky to put into the mystical bag, because then it won't smell, so we won't get traced.
Roll a D10 in chat for me. Roy. No worries. Major.
Alright. Hey. feed
Okay.
one.
You find enough fish to potentially feed 2 people.
Hell yeah.
If shared.
It'll be
Thank
shared.
you, Richard. I actually didn't. I missed that entirely. Thank you so much.
She will
I'll
use her
set that up
small
for
knife and she will just start, cutting up the fish and cooking it, and 2 people can choose to eat if they wish to. It is a trout.
I'll go to Eos. I think maybe you should give Lissa a bit of food because I don't think she slept all that well, and she might be a little bit cranky.
Why? What did you do?
I didn't do anything. It's cold. I don't think she slept very well.
How do you know she didn't sleep well? Were you?
Do you see the scowl? No. Do you see the scowl on her face and the murderous look in her eyes?
I've been busy trying to cut up this fish and not cut myself. What are you on about?
Okay, well, just take my word for it.
Okay.
You turn around and she's just kind of standing beside you, and she's just looking at the fish.
Oh. Oh,
Salivating.
fried trout.
If you wouldn't mind, that would be quite nice of
Good.
you.
And when she's holding out the plate beneath it is a tea bag.
Eos, I don't know if anyone has ever said this to you before, but you are indeed a godsend. I will return this favor tenfold, even if it's by pushing Dash into that pit over there.
With the sheep, he'd enjoy it. Don't bother.
Damn, it's a demi-lich god.
Okay. Anyway, for any of you that are kind of familiar with camping and trekking, should we, or this weather, should we eat more? Should we move more to keep warm? What the fuck?
In the Adventuring Guide of Adventurers, written by Dr. Advantageous, it's said to eat while moving.
Eat while moving.
Well, I think you forgot to mention that the harder you move, the more you sweat, and the colder you get.
So
you
Poems,
should-
isn't it? Yeah.
You should
move
move, but
steady,
we
but
should-
not aggressively.
exactly, and keep
Gotcha.
your water skin inside your clothes, or it will freeze.
That makes sense.
Yeah, don't expend massive energy unless you've got a big return, because the gamble is huge.
Okay, so no pull-ups after tree branches.
Yeah.
Noted. Thank you.
Eos, that'll now roll d10s for you in future, okay?
Oh, nice.
So. I believe we're taking off.
What's the weather like this morning?
Clear and sunny, but cold still, regardless, because the sun does nothing here.
Oh, I'm absolutely putting on my sunglasses to avoid that glare then.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
you're
act as
gonna
if,
have the ski fucking
the ski tan.
suntan, the ski tan.
I've got that before. It's like the Batman symbol on my
Yeah,
head
yeah.
because I had the hat and I had the thing. It was hilarious.
The glasses they give you, like, have you ever used those driving glasses, the ones that are like tinted for night driving? They just give you
Yeah.
that air across. You just see everything in the same color. Yeah.
Cool.
Can I?
Wait, are they Chad glasses? Are they the Chad glasses?
Yours are.
They're like
What did you call them at the last
frames.
cafe that made me laugh? Saren Ray-Bans? Was that it? That made me laugh. They're Saren Ray-Bans.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
a good
When packing up the camp, putting away all the tents, and putting out the fire and getting a sled, all that kind of stuff, I presume it would be apparent, or it was made apparent last night, obviously, that a sheep was found, killed, cut up, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna.
I'll let you know about the Gusto situation as well. That she did his whole.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
Basically Star Wars.
him for sure. I'm going to turn to Amadriana and say, did the sheep, was it with others? Did it seem like malnourished? It's not a normal thing. These are normally domesticated creatures. So I wonder if it was somebody's, and if it was, if they'll be happy with what we did. So we might just keep an eye on our travels in this area, just in case.
That is a good point. Although my reasoning was looking at their furs, which she'll hold up for you to have a look at. It seemed quite thick and shaggy, so I assumed it to be wild. But yes, that's a good point.
I'm just going to say, if this turns out to be some kind of frost giant or troll or something, and this is like his pet dog that lives outside and we're after killing it, I'm just going invisible and this is on you. I'm just telling you in advance, that's what's going to happen.
I mean, thanks for the help.
Yeah, he let it out for a pee last night and never came back, and he's going to come trotting around looking for it shortly. So I think we should make tracks for sure and go.
3, 5, 4, farm. I smell. Sean, no!
Okay, I'm definitely putting the fur onto Dash's cart this time.
Nice.
Get your own cart.
You just see a collar on it when you put it on the cart. Yeah.
It's called Ewan McGregor.
Oh my god.
So the sheepskin goes onto the back of his shield that he's pulling along behind him because he said he wants to do that with his. So
No worries.
just put that on that one.
Absolutely. So you've got one main cart, you've got, I guess, two little side carts or whatever, and you guys just heave ho, off you go.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Over the course of the next while, the further in you move, you stop hearing the water, you stop hearing the waves, you just hear the wind. And that's it. It's a lengthy walk. I'll let you guys decide if anything needs to be said during this walk.
I think what you hear from Dash is just the sound of teeth chattering.
You didn't shut up last night, and if you don't shut up now, I swear.
I would like to ritually cast Identify on the new instrument that I got. Because I'm considering trying to lift morale, but I need to know if I want to use this one or my one. Well, they're both mine
I'm
now.
sure that
you know
won't
what I mean?
piss it off at all.
That's your problem to deal with, not mine.
I disagree entirely. I would love a good song. Slate, I didn't know you were able to play the lute.
Lisa loves loot.
I'm specifically gonna play, Weslin's Song of Summer, because that will literally, make us think of summer. So think warm thoughts kind of idea. That's what I would like to do.
I was really hoping you were going to go with the rooster from Robin Hood.
Yeah, no worries, bud. As you start to play, tell me. So you're thinking about Westland, you're thinking about summer, brightness. Tell me more about what this is to you. Like, what are you thinking about? What's inspiring you? What's motivating you?
So I'm inspired by Dash's incessant teeth chattering, and then everything that comes out of his mouth. So I'm thinking that's going to make the journey way harder and way longer. So I think if I can lift the party spirits by giving
Just
them
go
something.
throw it out there. Dash isn't actually saying anything. He's just keeping his mouth shut. You just hear that every so often.
No, I it's just something to pass the time. Any excuse is a good excuse. Currently, I'm not worried for anyone's safety, so I'm not thinking about alerting anything. And if all there is the wind, a lot of the sound will get lost in the wind anyway. And for the moment, it's daylight, we're high spirits, etc. So now's the time. And after spending so long, traveling and cramped up on a boat and then camping, etc., and now we're walking, it just seems like the time to do it. So it's as much to occupy my own mind as anything.
Okay,
But then that's the motivation. But once I start playing, then it's about trying to actually, like anyone who plays an instrument, give the best rendition of, because I know what my skills are. So I know what it should sound like because I've heard it and it's been played to me by Weslin. So I'm trying to literally recreate the ballad I was taught in the way I was taught it, as much to honor him as to test my skills and my fingers in the cold, I guess.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so okay. I have to think. Okay, so I mean, the first immediate thing is that you're, I don't know, inspired, so to speak. Bards have their own form of inspiration. I'm not alluding to that. I just mean that you're actually inspired by...
Yeah, like a muse, it's in my head and it's, yeah.
Slate closes his eyes and he weaves a masterful tune. You all know exactly who he's thinking about. As you see blue streaks in the air and an image of sun shining. You see musical notes floating around Slate as he plays A song you've all heard before, but never felt quite like this. Your mind goes back to Westland, not too far ever from your thoughts. You think of the time you spent with him and how many strange occurrences had as he aged, but always was a good person. Chicken sits ever closer to Slate, or well, walks ever closer to Slate. You guys are walking, but there's a collective realization as Slate is playing that the imagery is not actually within your own minds, but is actually around Slate. The lute appears to be emanating a magical aura as he plays, one that is projecting his thoughts around him. And with that, if you wouldn't mind, Richard, I'll pass it over to you to talk about anything else they may see if you wish.
I think in the beginning, I would just be, focusing on the music and focusing on my fingers on the string and, the notes, etc. And like you say, the vision is in my head until it's not. Then I think all of us having lived lives and been in places, there would be, I suppose, well-known, not even songs, but riffs or classics, shall we say, and that would be known amongst the same isles all around, that there would be a particular artist, so I think having just discovered that this is a thing, it would be like a request session while we're walking of, play a bit of this, play a bit of that, and I would start testing different notes and different things, and then I would start to combine that with my thoughts to go, okay, well, what if I play something heavier? What if I think something sad? What if I think, and trying to understand that it's changing and basically testing it to go, okay, this is really what it's doing. And so I would start chopping and changing the music, playing a bit of a well-known bit, changing what I'm thinking about, changing the tempo, changing the style. So I think the images would change a reasonable amount to match, each one telling the beginning of a short story but never finishing, each one showing, the equivalent of somebody dancing and then going towards, let's say, a castle, and then it just switches into smoke, and then it's a person by a lamppost, and then to smoke, and then it's a tree, and it's this type of stuff. So each one is telling a story, but none of them are completing, so there's no individual theme or message, and it's as much a showing of my internal thoughts, I suppose, in the moment, as it is me having fun with it and trying to figure out how it works, basically, so I understand it for future use. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of both. One follows the other. By trying to experiment, I end up digging deeper into how I feel. By digging deeper into how I feel, I experiment with how I play, and vice versa, and on it goes.
Absolutely. No issues. So you begin to play and you realize that while you're playing this, it creates a harmless illusory visual effect, generally within a 5-foot radius centered on you, but because you're a bard and because you're playing it with such intensity, that radius begins to grow. The more you play it, it eventually reaches about 15 foot around you, encompassing most of the people with you. You see different things: luminous musical notes, spectral dancer, butterflies, gently falling snow. The magical effects have no substance or sound of their own. They're obviously illusions. There's nothing that would indicate otherwise. But the effect stops every time you stop playing.
I think I would endeavor to build it to some kind of a crescendo towards the end, when I start to get tired, bored, fatigued, whatever it is, my hands from the cold. I would try and, finish on a big bang type of thing, a big flourish, something that I feel would make everyone feel good, and then try and end it there.
Yeah.
I might have something for you, actually, because funny enough, I taken a couple of weeks ago, I took inspiration from Les Mis. I started writing kind of little rebel chant / song that could potentially be sung in dive bars in Balbaroth. So I have the chorus of it is all I've got so far, but it's
much like a jam session. Having never heard the song, if you start off with a couple of the lyrics, I'm sure I would definitely change the music to try and suit, or try and change it to be something that I think might go with that, and you never know who else might get involved.
Yeah, it's kind of like a marching beat to it. It's hear the whispers, hear the cries, hope ignites beneath the skies. No more silence, we'll make 'em see. Together we're strong, together we're free.
Nice.
Like it. Yeah, definitely lean into that for the crescendo. 100%.
So you all begin to perform together, and as I don't have performance music, I will instead give you the one, the only. Ba-da-ba-da. There you go. You can have this and pretend that it is your playing skills.
Do you require a performance check of any kind?
I'll give you performance and I'll give you advantage, please. Yeah. There's one of them rare 6-string lutes. 26. Hell yeah. 26. You absolutely nail it. I'll even go so far as to give you how do you want to do this, but on visual crescendo.
I think what I will start doing after getting comfortable with this and trying to understand how it works, then I'm going to start shape changing to the beat. So I'm changing who I am, but I'm doing it in colors. So I'm doing like a, blue-skinned dragonborn or this or that. So I'm changing who I am with the notes to go with the vibe, and then when I get to the end of the crescendo, I'm going to finish as Weslin.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. I have nothing to add. That is exactly how it plays out. And when the music suddenly stops and Slate's visage transforms back, you realize that everyone has stopped and is watching and is engrossed, and even Lissa forgets that she's grumpy for just a moment, and they applaud. Ayami and Lissa at least do, and Dash apparently. And then you perform this absolutely bitchin' whatever strum pattern this is and finger picking pattern. I mean, it really brightens up the walk.
So I had said as well that I wanted to cast ritually cast Identify with it, so I can have done that beforehand, or I can do that now when everyone else is doing their own thing, just quietly to myself, having played around with it. Now I'd want to examine it further if possible.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the full thing at the moment. I'm just trying to actually get it to copy across, but Foundry doesn't want to do it, so
perfect. I will just chat for now.
Yeah,
there's no rush, we can follow up on it later. So that's what my character's doing then, just doing his own thing now, really just examining that after that performance, because that is an unusual instrument to say the least.
One hand
that
pick
definitely has my intention.
Yeah. This lute is opulent to say the least. The way it looks is basically actually why do that when I can do this and show you a picture. It has this dark underlay to it with this gold trim all around it. The strings themselves are made of gold, and the gear heads are gold as well. There's also a spoke that comes out at the bottom. An unusual addition for a lute given how small it is, but you realize that it may not just be made as a lute, it could also be a standing up instrument for something a lot shorter. Someone of Gusto's height might be able to use it as such.
Upon seeing that, obviously everybody has seen that this is what it is that I'm playing. What everyone would see is previously they've seen me when feeling good and wanting to show off, etc., as long-haired, kind of muscular, really good-looking person. But that form, I'm going to take it, but I'm actually going to blend it with Weslin. So for future versions of it, it's an amalgamation of the two.
Okay.
So it's the musical side is Weslin, and the look and the vibe was what I had before, but I'm going to combine the two for a future, imaginings.
Yeah. That's I'll leave it up to you as you go, of course, but I do like that a lot, so absolutely, I'm all for that. But yeah, no, it is It is something unique to you. Yeah. But back to the wilderness we go. As we continue our journey, this might be an advantageous time to take a little break and perhaps fight a boss and replenish our various coffees, teas, and beverages. As I try and take a tally of all the cups I have in my office to go and get teas and coffees. In chat, we will be doing, of course, a boss fight. Our predictions should be going up there shortly. And what we'll do is take a 10-minute break. And we'll come back at 56. And what we can do then is predictions. Sorry, there's predictions up. And if there's any other questions or anything in chat, remember we do have a post show. Feel free to put them in the chat anytime. We will include them in our post show. But for now, we shall take a wee little break. B and
In a
R
minute.
B. Woo. Yeah. Hey, we are back. Let's go. We're close to the boss. That was really cool. We find our adventurers deep in the wilderness post a mini concert. Is that fair to say? A sesh? A Kaylee by Slate. It's a bit weird for some maybe to see Westland, and it's not so weird for others because people know who you are and what's represented by that. But I unintentionally glossed over that moment. I do apologize. I was eager to get some tea into me. So I'll pick up from that moment there, and we can continue.
Dios standing at the back of the group, being all wrapped up in her cold weather gear and the cloak. Little icy teardrops coming down from her dark lashes. Her usual, somewhat smiley visage is very somber at the sight of us. And
Yes. Would you like a hug?
I'm okay.
You sure?
You see, the difference between Dash and I is that I don't leave them to be optional. And she leans in and she just gives you a big warm hug.
Yos goes into the shoulder of Liz, and you hear a few sniffles and a pat on Liz's back as a thank you.
Alyssa's eyes dart open and look towards the rest of the group and like gesture.
Group out, I guess.
Dash at least joins in the hug, I think.
Yep.
I joined the group hug as everybody.
Oh my god.
What a
That's a weird
horrific
mutate as
mental
well.
image.
Oh,
Like,
God.
oh my god.
Wait, at once or transitioning or just sectioned?
A little bit of everything. I was going to say transitioning, but you know, whatever.
That's a good question, actually, and something I'd never considered. Can Slate turn his face into an armor piece? Like, how do you display a Magiana?
It accidentally shows exactly what you look like.
It's the
he
cheat
knew.
code. That's a good question. I imagine it would be Slate's best interpretation of what he may think you look like. Would be my way of
Well-
explaining it.
I just look like
Also-
Dwayne Dibley from Red Dwarf.
But you also spend a lot of time sneaking around with like hoods and things like that. So the easy way to do it is hood up and make dark. You know,
Okay.
so you can, and you can do the
Yeah.
rest. You know what I mean? So there's
That's
Like
fair.
Anubis and Stargate, yeah.
Fair. Okay. You're all hugging. Is this a thing?
I just grab Adriana and pull her into the hug. That's it.
Ayami joins as well. A little lighter
You
than
see-
everybody else.
You see, Hatsu is obviously confused and he doesn't know what to do. And he's going there, but he's not really connecting the bodies. He's like,
Our hands.
feels a little Sheldon Cooper, but I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that
It's
game
basically what it is. He doesn't understand. Like,
Yeah.
You know that game as a kid.
he's
where it's
never seen.
duck, duck, goose, you know, and then
Yeah.
someone runs around the circle. So I'll disconnect from where I am in the group hug, go round the other side, and as I do it, turn into one of the girls, walk around, grab Hatsu, push him in as one of the girls, walk around, back into Slate and back into the hug.
Wow.
So he feels more comfortable because of who ushered him into it. But yeah.
I will say Dash and Lissa most of all pick up on this. This is the warmest the two of you have felt, and probably the group have felt
God, yeah.
in the entire time, and this is a really pleasant experience.
You kind of hear that, you know, when you go from really cold outside into a heated house, you're just got that kind of
Everyone
sigh
thinks
of relief.
Dash wet himself, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
similar sound, but yeah.
Do we kind of try to feel like penguins, or what
Yeah,
is it?
rotate from the inside to the outside, and we all walk like this.
I think
Smile and wave, boys.
Hangwine.
I think they're trying to comfort me, Hatsu. I think that's what the plan was.
Oh, well, I hope you feel comforted.
I feel much better now.
That's great to hear.
Atsu can be so unintentionally hilarious at times. I love it.
Hatsu's like enemy is not going to be some super ninja fight or something like that. It's going to be like mastering the hug. That's his Everest.
The one thing I couldn't master, the hug.
Social interaction. Actually, to be fair, I got it. Actually,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Same.
might actually identify as a Hatsu. Yeah, for sure.
At this point, Eos starts taking out her rapier and she'll start to look at the compass. And she looks over
Dash hugs
towards...
her and she pulls out a sword.
And she looks over to Slate and Major John and like, I think we're slightly off course. Northeast is disengages from the hug.
I
That
think
way.
you've just been turned around with the hug, to be honest, my dear.
Oh, I'm overwhelmed. Okay.
You've been leading us right ever since we got here, so don't panic about your skills.
And she wipes away the icy tears. Thank you, Slate.
One last,
Snaps off the crystals.
one last notable change. While Westland was on the board, chicken was orange, not white.
Oh.
If anything ever happens at Fox, I'm gonna riot.
Give it an
I
episode or two and you
predict
can
a
have your
riot.
riot.
I predict a riot.
The day continues. You push on, each in your own thoughts, light conversation, and a lot of not heavy lifting, but lifting as you pull the sleds and various sticks and woods and various things. And it is quite good that you do, because the trees do start to disperse the more inland you go. Another notable thing for Hatsu and Eos that'll give you on the rolls before, it still doesn't quite make sense, the placement of the trees. Just feels
still-
like the end of something.
Yeah. What the hell? Okay. Okay.
Can I ask Albie, while he's up there, to have a look and see if the patterning of the trees actually creates a symbol or something from above?
Like a farmer's
I
field.
don't
with
like that
hedgerows,
smile on Ken's
some kind of
face.
uniformity to it.
Crop circles, you know.
Oh yeah, there's tons. They're in, and the further up you go, the more they look like just like a stick figure. Have you ever seen that one? I think it's in the UK. It's like a stick figure that's like crop circles, and if you're up really high, you can see it. And he has like genitalia, and people keep trying to put
Yeah.
underwear on it and stuff. Like they're just like pulling out bags and stuff and trying to cover it up.
That's
That
the one
is-
in the north, isn't it?
Is it up north here? I didn't realize. I wasn't sure. But that is that.
No, in the UK, I think,
in the
but
UK, is
it's
it?
up
Okay.
north. It's like Newcastle or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but every time it comes up on Reddit, I think about it. It stays
sure
in my
you
head.
do.
Just it lives with me. It's so funny that there's somebody out there who is like thinking hard enough about this that they're like, this thing, it needs underwear. It lives with me. Yeah, you look for crop circles, markings, none of that. You do find tracks, but the tracks are like, again, ram, sheep. If you're on the mountainside, like closer to the mountains and stuff, it's like ram, sheep, that kind of thing. You have the occasional bear tracks and stuff, and occasional fox tracks or dogs. There's nothing that's massively out of place here or anything like that. If you pan the camera slightly to the left, there's a UFO that's crashed, but we don't see that, so we just keep going.
No, that's Fallout 3.
It's Fallout 3 DLC. Only way to get a laser pistol. Yeah. That's kind of it. There's no craziness on top of that.
So how many days of this until we get to Dektorp?
Don't know yet. I got to do my roll with advantage.
You're rolling in the snow? That seems...
Perception check? You're on the right path. But like where that is in line with the map is a bit difficult because you have no frame of reference until you get to your first town. After that, it'll be a lot easier.
20.
At some point while we're walking, I'd kind of want to pull Slate to the side of the group and Lissa a little bit. Just say to Slate, hey, do you want to show Lissa what we talked about?
I dare say this is not the time nor the place, but I am interested.
So you think you'll enjoy it?
I have my hood up, so I turn to Lissa while she's walking along, and obviously I'll probably have my face covered from the wind, so I'll the hood would be like this, so I'll go like this, and as I do, it's just Deckard's face, and then I'll just put it back down, and then I'll just show her the forgery with the like hundreds of signatures scribbled all over it.
Are we
And then
about to be
pocket it back
very
in.
rich? Is that what you're saying?
And I'll just gesture.
Well, I just thought it might get us out of a sticky situation down the line. Happen to
Yes,
have
but
his
you think
autograph.
too
which
small.
I can purchase.
Do you know what we can do with that signature and that face? Bank accounts. Money. Gold.
Yes, that too. I was
platinum,
kind of trying to be sarcastic. Yes.
even some early access, like contraband.
Peace treaties, wage war. I mean, anything that requires documentation. Who knows? We could do anything. I could be anyone.
We could start a war. We could take out the king with that signature.
There you go. Now you're on the right track.
But I do like platinum.
Well, look at the king falls. That crown is all yours.
Heavy as the head.
Exactly.
Some benefits do come with the crown, though.
Fancy yourself a queen?
She just walks along, but her eyes are sparkling with more than just the snow in her eyes.
Just kind of give Slate a little, just kind of a good job wink.
Then I just look him straight in the face as him and wink back to him, giving him the same vibe that he gave me.
That's
Somehow you made it creepier.
very unnerving.
Hatsu just mumbles in the front row. With great power comes great responsibilities.
Is that my Uncle Ben?
No, I'm pretty sure he was a rice maker.
Oh, that was it. Rory's fuming.
This guy. Poisonous guy, how dare you?
Do come along, you guys. I know you like to chat, but we do need to keep moving.
Yes, well.
So that would be the moment when Hatsu would more look for landmarks that would indicate that they would come closer to a village or something. Because somehow they also have to heat their shit, right?
Yeah.
So he kind of would look for trees that might have been cut, or like actual tracks, or like pathways or whatever.
Yeah, not quite yet, but you feel you're on the right path. Some might say halfway there. Some might say living on a prayer. With that, you are reaching the end of yet another day.
How barren is the area that we're in?
Substantially more than before, but there's still wooden trees. But Hatsu might be onto something, that this might be an area that was potentially harvested long ago. Long ago.
Can we find somewhere suitable to settle?
Yeah, I'll say survival check, but yeah.
If there's nowhere like we can dip into, like undercropping or something like that, what a Madriana would essentially start trying to do is to dig under the snow that we're going through to create like an under snow igloo type deal.
Okay. That'd be a little bit more complicated, but you can do it.
I mean, it's better than being out in the wide open.
Shovel. Yeah, we kind of make like the like an igloo walls.
Yeah.
Like a circle thing. Yeah.
It's a 16 for survival anyway.
Well,
I don't suppose anyone can magic up like a tiny hut or something.
What are you? Metagaming?
my God, is that the cops? Madriana, instead you notice something of value and use. Something that you're usually accustomed to finding value and useful things. There is a cave. It's a nice cave.
Yeah, I'm sure it fucking is.
How many bears are in there?
Yeah, it's a king cave, so
The cozy cave of 7 sessions. Here we go.
All right, boys, hitch up your pants. We're going in.
Not again.
Do the rest of us see this cave? Has it been pointed out to us, or are we aware of it?
I would be pointing out the direction of it, yeah.
While standing next to Dash, I should start looking at it and go, I wonder how warm it is in there. It's definitely out of the wind. If it goes back far enough, it would be several degrees better. Like, it's got to be warmer, surely. Surely there's no wind chill factor, etc. It could be
Inside check.
Inside
Do
the
it.
cave check?
Just, I mean, make the insight check, man. I'm cool with that.
You are inside the cave. Oh, wow.
I'm inside in the inside.
Don't even need to contest it. All of those things are true. Wind chill factor would be down if it went deep enough. That, you know, it would be insulated. It would maintain temperature. It would be warmer. So this sounds absolutely very enticing and is all completely true.
What a waste of a dirty 20, man.
Yeah.
That does sound very true, Slate. So my question is, why aren't you already going in?
I think we're all going, are we not? Just, you always seem to be the coldest one, so I thought you'd have the most interest.
Yeah, I do like to live, though, and I'm going to make the assumption that if something can live in these harsh environments, it probably lives there. And if something can live here long enough, it probably feeds there, too.
Dash, hold this, and I just pass him the rope for the sled. Hey, Army, Alyssa, care to join me? And I just start slinking into the cave as quietly as possible.
They do as well. Between the three of them, there's not even a pebble moved. They very silently enter the cave.
Is Ayami just like Legolas on top of the snow?
Can't even see Ayami.
No footprints, no nothing.
Yeah, the cave itself has a small sequence of tunnels, but a large open room. Perfect for several tents and a campfire. There's even an opening somewhere on the top that may resemble a chimney.
Mm-hmm. These fucking frost giants. These little tunnels, do they bear any tracks, markings, scrapings, fluffy cotton that's been like ripped on the side of it?
You know, I would love to tell you, but it would need a survival check first, so let's go with that.
Do I get any help because they are me and that's helping me?
Yeah, go for it.
You screwball. That's a 12.
12? Well, they don't look recently used.
Good enough for me. I go to the entrance. Come on. But keep your noise down. It might not be completely clear all night.
Okay. I'm gonna roll stealth.
That does not sound all that encouraging, Adriana.
I just mean it's empty
roll a
for
nat
now.
20 on stealth?
I did.
Okay.
So you can't see Eos, but you can just see the trail from the fucking sled behind her.
Dash, as you walk in, you get startled by Madriana, who responds to you, and you're like, oh, fuck. As you walk in further, Alyssa's like, would you keep it down? And you do it again, you jump. You walk in further, and Ayami is just standing there, you get a fright, and you're like, okay, that's everyone. You turn around, you can see Hatsu clearly, you turn back around, and Eos is standing in front of you.
Why do you all keep doing this? Just kind of quick side note, Milda does that to me every fucking day. Every fucking day.
I
She'll just
believe it,
appear, because I work here, and every so often I'll be on a meeting, and she'll just stick her head through this door, and I'll be in a meeting, and then she's just there.
So you're as perceptive in real life as you are in game.
Not much
Genuinely,
RP in that. Yeah.
genuinely, there's very little RP. Yeah.
What I'd like to do is be the last one into the cave, and if the plan is to stay here overnight, I'd like to let the others know that I plan on setting up the bell and string again over the mouth of the cave. But I'm going to ask anybody who's particularly good at seeing things or hiding things, either or both, to come out to help me to try and make it not visible to whoever would walk straight into it, so that it have more chance of being activated. So I'm going to try and hide it, and they can go, oh, I can clearly see it. Or, oh, I suggest you do this with it, so we can use snow or foliage or whatever is around. And obviously, getting a branch, walk backwards, wipe away our tracks, that type of stuff. Clearing
That
it all.
sounds like a job for Dash. No, please, someone else volunteer.
That was a long silence, man.
Can a Madriana help, because she also has some bells and some string, which they can set up in the back of the cave as well, where the other exits are. So yeah, the idea between the two of us making it so that it's almost impossible to see it, but cover our asses.
I have this one, Adriana.
No.
Eos is going to set up an alarm at the back end of the cave.
So with that in mind, do you want to double up the bells on the other side if the alarm's on the back? We've got 2 bells on the front, and maybe stagger them, so if they miss one, or let's say they have a giant gate that they might miss one, but they could hit the other one. If they're steps.
Maybe one high and one low.
Yeah.
So that if they have a certain height, they hit one.
Yeah, or they fly, or whatever else.
Yeah.
And just for DM, this will be the mental alarm, the one that has the 1 mile radius that only goes to the brain.
Sure.
There's Dash just pacing backwards and forwards in the night, and Eos is like, ding, ding, ding. Like, who the fuck is doing that?
But for some reason, it keeps waking Lissa anyway.
It's just like that alarm thing in Phasmophobia that when you walk past it, yeah.
Oh, the motion sensor?
Yeah.
Terrifying game, by the way.
Oh, do it again.
Let's see.
The lights are dim in here, but the campfire, if there is one, provides warmth and light. The tents are set up in such a way that you can make use of the spacing within this place, and for all intents and purposes, it's quite a warm night, but a fishless one. So unless
What's
there's
the shape of the cave?
cave shaped.
Mm.
It is round to oval, with several passages in the back and one main exit, but the exit's over in kind of almost, I can't say a corner because it's a round room, but if you understand what I mean, towards the point of the ovals. Yeah.
All right.
Did we look down the passages?
No, but you can if you like.
Fine, I'll go take a look.
Don't set off my alarm.
Immediately sets off your alarm.
Bing!
Oh, my head.
I gotta
think-
also add to that your mental alarm is the exact same as if you go into like a 7-Eleven. It's like bing, bing, bing.
Yes.
I'm gonna put Albie on his shoulder just to make sure that if shit goes down, I know of it.
Albie will definitely know the way back. Dash will definitely not.
There's
You
that.
don't know that. I haven't rolled yet.
I don't need to know. I've seen your rolls for the last 25 sessions. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
Hey.
confident.
Go.
Yeah, I mean, take a look.
I will go and I will investigate the.
You may investigate
Things.
the things.
That is a 19.
I would like to know two things.
I'll go.
How deep into these tunnels are you going?
Oh no. I'm going deep enough that I can still see the light coming from where I left.
Okay. And the second thing is what, in general, are you investigating and looking for?
I am paranoid about animal tracks. About big animals. Bears, for no specific reason. And anything
Rabbits
that
eat bats.
rabbits eat bats, yeah, that was fucking terrifying. Although I didn't know about that. Anything that would imply recent death, so blood trails, what might look like a carcass being dragged, broken bones or bits of fur. If you say I find all of that, I am dashing right back up the tongue.
I wasn't gonna say you found all of that, but then you made a pun. You... Okay, you mentioned a lot of stuff, so you can have, there's going to be 2 or 3 rolls here, and you can have one of them with advantage based on Albie's assistance. So I would say use the one that you feel most appropriate for a bird helping a human being.
He's human. Blech.
I want another investigation check that will be partial to your current one. I want a perception check, and I want a survival check.
Okay, I'll do the perception with advantage. That is
That is incredibly on point.
a fucking waste.
With advantage, you got a 6 for
advantage.
perception.
You think you're in a cave.
And then it's a dirty 20 for the investigation, and where's the survival?
Oh my god.
Survival is
Even Albie, now obviously don't count, but even Albie being on your shoulder and not actually looking around is still better than you.
Did you just get a nat 1 as well, or is that a 2?
that's a
A
2
2
for
minus 1
one.
for survival.
Yeah, so
Gosh.
investigation's great, but the other stuff is not.
Perfect.
That's so on character.
Dash, you
Oh,
walk through these tunnels. The first thing that catches your eye is a rusted spear and sword and helmet. You reach down to pick it up and it just crumples and falls apart. As you pick up the next thing, similar things happen. They're fracturing. They're making a little bit of noise, but nothing crazy. And Adriana, you can definitely hear that he's down in the tunnels making a wreck of them.
Yeah, after the first one crumples, after I see it, the first one crumples, I make a deliberate effort to be stealthy.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll get stealth from you in a second. But I'm basically, it's not causing enough of a noise to draw anything other than Adriana's here. When you make the noise with the rusted items, you take a look around. You're curious if anything may be noticed. And as you do, you see this sort of creature, 8 legs dangling in front of you, and you jump back and you land on the ground. There's just a small spider dangling there, but it just happened to be in front of your face at the time. I might give Key a heart attack. I'm sorry about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you got payback on Friday.
Oh yeah, and you'll get payback on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You get your bearings and you continue to investigate the tunnels.
My bodies?
Your nothing. And as you continue to investigate the tunnel, you do find signs that people have been through here. But what stands out the most is an old sort of leather-bound box laying on a stone that looks similar to a bench. What's in the box, Dash?
Box in the box.
It's sitting on a stone bench.
Yeah. Sitting there. Free for the taking.
You son of a bitch. Sorry, man, I don't mean you.
Oh my god. What you say about my mama?
Fucking like it.
Tell me, is there in the immediate vicinity of said box?
Mhm.
What's there?
Nothing.
I don't like your tone, boy. I will check for traps.
Good idea. May investigate for traps. With the 6, there are no traps. This is easy pickings, Dash.
That dice was on a verge of 18, I will point out. And it just went, no.
Okay, so here's where we have the line between like playing the character and knowing what the player wants to know. But fuck it, I'll try open it.
Oh, it easily opens, Dash. No
Can I
problem.
ask a question?
Of course.
Is LB smart enough to know that he's a dumb fuck?
Silently judging from a safe distance, probably, yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's like, is this something he would trigger back to me? Like, you might want to get in here and sort out your mate. If not, then that's fine. Just ask him.
I'll say give me a history check from Albie to see if it knows enough about Dash. How's that?
-4. This is going to be amazing.
Oh my god! You might still do better than Dash's rolls though.
Not 20, please.
It's a 9.
A 9? Probably not yet, but I'll give you another roll in just a few moments.
How we gonna learn?
Oh.
Dash, you pry open this box, and within it are some old vials, small little container, and a few different we'll call them tools, but I'm not talking pickaxe and stuff. I'm talking tweezers and pliers and small handheld things.
Do they look magical?
Make an Arcana check.
$13?
They do not look magical.
Are they like dusty?
The container's dusty. The inner side of the container, probably not.
Yeah,
A little
so this
bit.
hasn't been opened in a while. Do any of them have like a little kind of loop? So can I take my dagger out and just kind of lift one up to inspect it?
Sure, one of the vials you can stick your dagger sort of into and etch it out, and it's just a glass vial.
Oh, sorry, I lost connection there. Just as you said, glass. It was just
Glass
glass
vial.
vial.
It's just a glass vial. Yeah.
Empty?
Yep.
Oh, that's no good. I'll put it back and I'll.
So about that
Make my
survival
way back
check
to
from earlier.
No.
There's a few
Oh,
things
you
you don't
Indiana
notice
Jones
about
to me.
this. There's a few things you don't notice about this room. One of them is the obvious doorway that leads further on. Likely where the owner of this may have gone a long time ago. The other thing you don't notice about this room is a series of bats across the ceiling. But they don't seem to have much interest in you. And one final thing that you do suddenly realize is that you went down a dark tunnel without a torch, without anything. Yet for some reason you can see just fine.
I'll take off the sunglasses. for
No
a moment.
longer can you see just fine.
Huh. Remington, you clever bastard. To re-equip those real quick.
I'll put the actual item on you shortly, but they do provide you with dark vision. However, typically dark vision is seen in hues of gray. You see them in hues of gold.
I just want to throw it out there. Last week when you said I was getting sunglasses, I had a suspicion. So I'm glad to be proven correct.
Suspect this.
That would have been a great way to say
Mega
roll on initiative.
rabies.
Not again. My last character had them.
But they always maintain that sparkle.
Cool.
One final check from you, Dash. Just a history check. Nothing too out there.
Dirty 20.
Well, look at that. You do find your way back. Isn't that happy days for everybody? Everyone's so fucking happy. You make your way back, Dash. No problem.
Walk back. Kian is sweating bullets, but Dash is just kind of walking back and just kind of
Why, man?
giving help. Because I've played campaigns with you.
This might be a good discussion for the post show.
Just giving Albie a little scratch on the way back. Well, there's a chest down there.
And Dash hears behind him, Hatsu goes, "Where have you been?"
I'm starting to get used to that.
It might not be a good idea to wander off and telling nobody.
I told him Adriana. She sent Albie with me.
What's in the chest? Sparkles.
Oh. Yeah, I can see in the dark with these. Remington knows his shit. I'm just look at them. It's just glass vials, tweezers, weird empty vials. Weird. But looks like someone lived here. There's also rusted bits of armor and spears on the way down there.
So
Something
somebody
monster.
with armor and weaponry, and apparently a mobile apothecary, comes down here, and you think that's okay?
Or they used to. That was very dusty. Doesn't look like anyone's been here for quite some time. Now, I'd be happy to investigate further, but not by myself, because it does kind of give me the creeps down there.
I think
Oh,
we should
Venom.
investigate all of the tunnels based on this. Who knows what else is down here?
Yes, I agree with Slate.
I'd be more to sit out the night and head away, to be honest.
What if we use this giant bear trap that Remington did send with us at the opening there and rest before we further investigate? Because if there's something luring in the shadows, we should be on full strength, I guess.
It's the
That's
resting part that
amazing.
I'm worried about if there is something in here. Because that's when I'd attack.
Please don't attack us, Slate.
Actually, that's great. I didn't know we had a bear trap.
Oh, it's huge.
Hell yeah.
The bear trap is what was left for Ayami, but she's all aboard with the plan anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, Yummy, do you mind if we borrow your bear trap?
She just shakes her head no.
Okay.
Is it no, you don't mind, or no?
I was just
you
going to ask.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Nani?
It's easier to ask forgiveness than permission.
100%.
Ah, you've been to one of my seminars. Lovely.
You're a teacher?
No, he just talks shit in the street.
As the snow melts from the heat of the fire and stuff, you do get drips and drops throughout the cavern, but it's not anything suspicious, scary, or ominous. It is just something worth noting. Perhaps will help you find your way back.
Maybe not from the drips. Yeah. But is there anything in the
You laugh
cave
like that
walls?
wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
Anything within the cave walls?
Like, as in, so like, was there cave drawings? Was there like a body that was covered by the ice, but now it's defrosted out? Like, we can see the body through the ice. That
Like
kind of thing.
xenomorphs on the walls that we never checked for, and they come
Yeah.
alive.
Oh, damn, we thawed them out, and now they want to kill us.
Yeah. If there's anything within the walls, I'm not sure how you would determine it, because I can, as a rational human being, would not know how to determine that. That does not mean that other rational human beings cannot determine that. I'm sure Richard has a way of exactly examining the exact depth and curvature of a wall.
Well,
But
it's very easy. Get a pint glass and
Not, I don't mean in the walls as in the walls. I mean behind the blanket of ice that was there that is now melting.
oh,
Is there anything
sorry.
like frozen in carbonite type job?
Just some old shield with red, white, and blue on it and a star in the middle. That's useless.
really fair.
Must have been a big green fellow that dropped this.
No, there's nothing like that. There's nothing telling. It's just frozen ice.
So, Eos, you want to stay with the camp? Me and Slate are going to go and investigate. Who else wants to come?
Oh, I want to see more.
We need to leave at least one or two with Eos.
Well,
So maybe...
I kindly want to remember you what Remington said to us when we left. So
Hold on.
either we do this all together, or we just stay together. I don't think it's a good idea to do the separation in this environment.
It's not that far. Well, that one wasn't that
Hatsu was
far.
right. I
Said
will
the
go
rabbit
with you.
before the snake found it.
Let's just all go
Yes.
together. Check it out. Come right back. Sleep for the night. Move on in the morning. I just want to make sure there isn't anything in here with us that tries to climb into bed with us while we're sleeping. Simple as that.
I prefer sleep alone. I'll put away my book and I'll join you.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I lead the way?
Listen, Naomi, we'll follow.
Oh, Sparkles knows where this thing is.
I've been down that one, but not this one.
Oh,
I'm at a disadvantage. I can't see in the dark, guys, so I'm gonna have to put my hand on somebody's shoulders and just follow and listen because there's not a lot I can do. So I'll go.
Hatsu would cover the back and check that nothing is creeping up behind him.
Slate, you come with me then.
If Slate turns into an elf, would he be able to see?
I don't.
I assume the form of creatures. I don't get their abilities. So
Right.
I look like them, but I'm still me. So dog shit vision, still dog shit vision.
Fair.
Are there any torches or anything?
Oh, I forgot you can't see it dark.
Oh,
That's right.
well, but who would need a torch?
I'm the only one that does, but I'd rather not give away our position. So I'm happy to walk with Dash or with any of the ladies who are good at concealing themselves to help me move along quietly. And then I can
would
light a torch
you-
if I have to.
Would you mind if I assist you in the dark?
Please.
So basically what Hatsu would do, he would basically grab your shoulders from behind and would lead you a little bit where to go and stuff like that.
It's kind of like when you lean into somebody and help them practice their golf swings. We're just really awkwardly walking down like this.
Maybe a little of that.
Oh,
It's all
you
in
feel,
the hips.
If you feel a hard knob, it's the sword.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it.
I'll offer my
Are
hand
you
to Alyssa then in that case.
So are we still at the back, Hatsu? Am I staying with you at the back, or because I was going to stay in the middle-ish? Or
Yeah,
how do you
I
wanna do
I would have the Hatsu would have the last spot. You would be right in front of him.
it? Perfect.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll be in the middle.
Good to have a marching order.
Mhm.
Yeah. So where are the two girls with us as well in the middle? Then that leaves Dash and
Oh.
Adriana at the front.
Yeah, well, I'll
Yeah.
kind of guide Alyssa because I assume she doesn't have anything to see in the dark, so I'll help her out.
Except for her gleaming love for you.
I'll be fine. And she just lowers her goggles.
Oh, is that what they do? I always wondered.
They just black out once, so she doesn't have to look at Dash.
Please, she can't get enough of this ass.
I have decided that I will walk ahead of Dash. Yes.
I guess
Which-
myself and the Matriarch up front then.
Which tunnel are we going down? The one that he found the ominous box in, or the one that nobody knows what's down there?
The one
Mystery.
that... Are we going down a mystery one?
Good. Mystery one, of course.
I
Mystery
like your idea, yes.
I'd say mystery one
yeah.
first, yeah, and then we can always double back to the other.
Yeah, then we can look at this weird suitcase.
Remember,
Um,
be quiet if you can.
Oh, I'll try. I rolled for stealth.
One moment. I was just thinking, just take out string and start laying that behind us as we go. I think I have 10 foot by 10, so 100 foot of string, so I can
Eos, was that a not one?
thesis the way.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
You don't need to.
Oh?
Your cloak conceals you in the night. You have advantage.
I should have read my sheet here, not on D&D Beyond earlier.
It doesn't tell you.
What? Oh, okay. So... Here we
So
go.
we all roll in stealth away.
You're all rolling stealth. Eos, you may roll again.
Thank you.
While this is happening, I'm just going to converse with Dash and say, what are you attaching this string onto? Because currently it's just on the ground, so if you walk, it's just going to move.
You can't see that.
Stealth just... Did Dash just get a nat 20 on stealth?
That's when else.
Ryan, you're busy today with your notes, man. Nat 20 for 25.
I just want to point out he's only just stealthier than me with a nat 20.
Fair.
That's because I put
I'm
charisma.
happy I got a 15. It's all right.
Also, to answer your question, he's literally just leaving it on the floor, just as kind of a
That's
marker as far as it'll go.
Hatsu's trying to be silent, but as Slate moves around unpredictably, he also goes with him like, oh.
Slate and Hatsu have a hard time being silent because they have Slate. 50% of that party has no idea where they're going. So
Yeah.
that checks that. With a double 9 from
we
Hatsu
both
and
did
Slate.
the same. Exactly, yeah.
I love when the dice line up, man. Dash got a 25 on a nat 20. Madriana got a 23, and Eos got a 15.
Which is much better than a 6. Yes!
It is. It's a bit difficult because the party's so intermittent, but I'm going to say that Dash's additional stealth helps Slate and Hatsu out of their one shy of the required stealth check. And you guys are fine. You sleuth down the tunnels. Dash, your new vision affords you a nice ability. So I won't make you trip over the carcass that you find on the floor.
How fresh is the carcass?
Wow, that would be a nice medicine check.
Also, what is the carcass?
Also that. 16 for 15.
Why is the carcass?
16 for a 15 is so confusing. Madriana, I'll let you also do a medicine or survival. I'm not sure which. just either or.
Survival.
I suppose canonically, I'll have pointed it out in Thieves' Cant so as not to make too much racket.
I need
It
a
doesn't
weapon.
exist in this campaign.
Tackaton.
Talk like because it's so like it's basically using your hands. You basically just point.
Oh, I thought it was like a Morse code type thing.
It's a little bit of that. It's a little bit more skill and a little bit of a hand. It's a series of gestures and clicks and stuff.
I love the idea that he does this to Madriana, and she looks at him and she's like, "How is it you managed to screw that up too? You just asked me if I wanted to date your sister." And then she just gives him a smile, like, you know, a smile and a wink kind of thing.
He apparently just flips you off.
Oh, that one I definitely understood.
That's a universal language.
Yes.
Imagine Lyssa there seeing me flip off the daughter of the Archon, just losing her shit internally.
Just behind Madriana going,
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'll make that canon. That's pretty accurate. Yeah, I was thinking about it, but you're absolutely right. Okay, we'll start with what it is. It is a human of some sort. A humanoid. Medicine. I mean, it's definitely dead. And since it's bones, it's been a while. It's not chewed on. It's not chewed on bones. It's not eaten bones. It's nothing like that. It is just skeletal remains and rags.
Just to kind of go with that, is there anything around it that looks like it would have been, I don't know, empty rations or empty water skin?
or a sword sticking out the rib cage.
Sort of sticking out the rib cage. Looking for a cause of death, basically.
There isn't anything that signifies the cause of death. Not immediately on a 15, but you are welcome to take a closer look if you wish, because I always do allow 2 checks.
Yeah, absolutely, I will. Medicine again, I assume.
I'd like to assist because at this stage I presume the back of the queue would have caught up, and I'm proficient in medicine and also knowing for shape change. I know body alignment, etc. really well. So I'd like to assist you with that, so you do the roll.
Nice.
19 for an 18.
It's better than that one it could have been.
19 for an 18, man. That'll knock it old for me. You find the most subtle thing with Slate's help. The neck is broken. In the most clean of ways. If done by a person, it's someone with great experience in shattering necks. Likelihood, not a person. Done by something that knows the weak point of its opponents or its prey.
I'm going to say out loud something that everybody could relate to. I'd say, have you ever broken a chicken's neck? You know how easy that is for our size in relation to that. This looks like this was somebody's chicken.
That's not terrifying at all.
It's fine.
Was
That was a long
quite a
time
big.
ago.
Because I can't see, I'm going to ask everybody, how big is the tunnel we're in? Based on that observation of something immensely strong or whatever broke this humanoid's neck very easily.
How big is the tunnel, DM?
How many
cubic feet?
Hatsus tall?
Yeah, height, width.
How
Be
many
about
bags of tea?
10 foot wide and about 15, 20 foot tall. In this part. Don't overthink it, Adriana.
Yeah, it's about 10 foot wide, 15, 20 foot tall. Slate.
What's that in metric, Dash?
I just tap Dash on the shoulder.
Wandering Isles
Gently
has
push-
1. It doesn't have
Gently
everything.
gently push him forward. So tap on the shoulder like, thanks for that. And then just push you forward slightly, just like gentle.
Yeah, continue moving forward.
Really, no. Oh, I mean, you
can say
will.
that.
Yeah, I
Swear to
mean, you
God,
will.
yeah, I swear to God.
Voice in the sky above the cave. How dare you?
Yeah, keep pushing through. Checking for traps as well, not just
Oh, well,
fumble
that's definitely
go
some
back to
sort of
Hatsu.
investigation.
From our stealth walk.
Yeah, I'll help check it for traps as well.
Or aligned wanky walk through the tunnels.
There's a reference, man. We haven't talked about that in a couple sessions. There's gonna be people in chat not knowing what the hell that means. That's for
There's
the
no
OGs.
traps. It's all good.
No chats. No traps. Sorry, no chats.
With an 11, there's no traps.
Oh no, you guys are good, man.
I like the difference between like you're certain there's no traps and yeah, I think there's no traps.
You're certain there's no traps, and you're certain there's no traps.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any traps. Go ahead, Dash.
What traps are you looking for, Major?
You never
All of
know
them, I
what
hope.
sneaky people might be trying to do. There's traps that would drop you into pits. There's traps that would drop a pit onto you.
There's traps that'll turn you into solid gold.
Yes.
Was that really a trap, though, Dash?
I couldn't see it.
Didn't have your sparkly sunglasses on.
Don't think they would have made a difference. It's Remington.
You look cool, though.
There is one trap
Thank
that you
you.
do find, but it's already been sprung long ago. Not so much a trap as it is a thread and a crumpled up bell.
Oh, so somebody's been here and done the same as what we did and got eaten for it. Good to know.
We have traveled through time in this cave.
It's like if I said
Well, I
that, it would
don't
actually just be
think-
spoiling a major plot point for a movie, so never mind.
Well, I
Just gonna
think
take this
nobody
opportunity.
would venture in that cave that deep to just have a rest.
Mm-hmm.
So they might have been looking for something.
Or hiding from something, Hatsu.
Can I loot the bodies? Because no one has actually done that, and I'm just thinking I'd like to go back to the other one. I would check both of them. I'd like to rummage through them.
There's not much in terms of loot. There's just very
Anything
old
good.
things. So like you get about I would say about 10 to 15 copper pieces. Say 15. And that's mostly it. The only thing of note that you do find is it looks similar to what I would have described to Dash earlier, though Slate probably wouldn't know that because only Dash explained what he found in the box.
I did.
Did you? Okay, then you would note that this is a similar container, a very old and shattered, broken version of it, but an old container with different vials and things.
Suddenly realized I should be taking note of this shit because
Can I look a little deeper at the box? Because what I'm thinking in my head is past histories, Dr. Harrow, vials, her like injector gun, all of that type of stuff. And I'm thinking this is either, it could be an alchemist, it could be like a lab lackey, it could be somebody getting samples, so they could have samples in there. I don't know what it is. So I'd like to look deeper, but with that in mind, trying to learn more about what the vials woulda, coulda, shoulda been, and thinking that while I look through it and look at it a bit more specifically.
I'm gonna do
Do you wanna
something
do
I don't
investigation?
specifically do often. Before I ask for a roll, I'll let you and the party tell me what you think they're for. But I will ask for a roll shortly and let you know if anyone is warmer rather than colder.
So I'll articulate to the party that that's what I'm thinking, having a history with Harrow and having seen her kind of the vials and the injector she has and stuff like that. And we've seen some of the things she's been able to do, like the plants that came to life and so on. That I'm not sure if this was somebody harvesting ingredients or something to that effect. So I'll voice that aloud for everybody.
Eos would allure that she believes this person was either trying to find a source or the cure for lycanthropy, based on what Rem told us about this land. It's a bag of vials of medicine. It's an experiment.
Well, as far as I know, for certain, potions or poisons, you need a solid base. So you might look for creatures where you could extract this kind of bases.
We're all thinking the same thing from a different angle. We're all talking about getting a sample from something to do something with it. They're all the same ideas from a different slant.
Okay. Slate, I'll now get you to make a history check, and I'll give you advantage based on the responses you got from everybody.
Dirty 20.
Dagthorpe was founded quite early on in the history of these lands. One of the oldest towns. Not much has changed since, although a few things have been added along the way. It's a research station for Volcanus, for the Molten Crown specifically. These tunnels, likely based on that, if followed far enough, would likely lead into the heart of the Molten Crown. And this is researchers who were researching.
What were they researching now?
The Molten Crown, that's the volcano at the tip of Volcanus, is it?
Mm-hmm. The Molten Crown is the volcano itself, the one that Volcanus is named after. The crowning jewel of this. One that can be seen on certain days from Maleficum's Arcanum if you're high enough up.
Was that the one in our splash screen?
I don't know.
The one on your mug.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. All right. Would have been cool, but okay.
Might be one that Eos has seen before, though.
I'll open my sheet again. Hang on.
I wouldn't open the sheet. I'd open a YouTube link with a minute-long video that she just witnessed a little while ago.
You mean the one we're going to see later, eh? Yeah.
No, not that one. Her vision.
Oh, yes. The one that I didn't slow down to. Anyways, moving on.
This second dead body is, now that we're identifying that this is a researcher of sorts, and probably the others were as well, are they wearing some kind of we've identified them by their gear, but does their clothing match? Is there any uniformity? Obviously it's winter clothes, or it's for inside the cave or whatever, it's weather appropriate, but is there any uniformity to what they're wearing, either out or under or otherwise?
Mostly worn away, and it's mostly just rags and whatever now. But yeah, if you investigate it close enough, I'll give that to you, that they would be similar in nature. Yeah.
Obviously I would share from my investigations that it appears that these are researchers, and that I think they're local, and based on the map that I have, I would assume based on their clothing that they're not outfitted with the heaviest of clothing, therefore they haven't traveled the furthest, therefore they've spent some time inside the cave, which leads me to believe that this cave goes further than we think it does, because their clothing's not outdoor for long-term appropriate, because it's rotted away so quickly, etc., and that there's some kind of researchers or scientists or something.
The question: why were they left here? Did they not expect danger? Can I see the end of this particular tunnel?
No, they go around a series of curves. But what you do spot, I'll give you that because you're looking further down, is that the tunnels themselves seem to almost be like, the closest comparison I can give you to real life, and hopefully this makes sense to you, would be a beehive. It's a network of tunnels within something that form a greater hive system. So it's not just one tunnel. They all interconnect in different places. And there could be dozens, hundreds, thousands of tunnels. You don't know.
And with that in mind, I presume there's a kind of a uniformity to them, as in they've either been dug by a creature, a machine, or by magic, but whatever did it, it would be somewhat uniform throughout, as in similar-ish. Or are they all completely higgledy-piggledy different?
They're all higgledy-piggledy different. They're not necessarily crafted by just humans. Some of these may have been here for a long time. Possibly as long as the fracture. They could have always been here. It's hard to tell. They're not freshly carved, if that makes sense. They're not like cut out of stone. They seem cave-ish, not man-made network-ish.
Yeah, well, what I'm going for, I suppose, was, you know, there are huge creatures that could form this. There are particular societies that could form this. There are particular magics that could form this. There are so many options available, but based on what you're telling me from my observation, there's no one thing. In fact, it's a multitude of things, which also leads me to believe that it goes back a while, and they may be all different, happened maybe at different times by different groups, but now they all interconnect, or they appear to have some kind of connection, some of them. So like you said, it gives the impression that it's huge.
Right, exactly. It just gives the impression,
But I will, after touching all the walls and after asking everybody to explain to me what they see and how it all works, because I can't see it, so having been told it's 10 foot by 20 foot, it's not the same shape, and having everybody tell me all of this, I'm going to go back to Hatsu and turn into a small child and just stand on his feet and hold on to him like that so he can walk me around.
Nice. That works.
Well, I guess if we want to check all of this for any potential threat, this will take a few months.
Yeah, maybe just go a little bit deeper and then we head back.
Yeah.
So we go around the next bend, see what we see, and then set up camp for the night. How's everyone feel about that?
Yeah, I'm game.
Yes.
Sounds like famous last words.
Our
Let's
camp
do
is
it.
already set, Dodash.
But set up camp, I mean set ourselves up so we can relax, maybe have some tea.
While we go around the last bend, because I won't be able to see it, I'm going to be relying on my senses, but considering we have a good inclination that this is close to a volcano, etc., there might be airflow, you know, wind coming from the direction, or heat, all of which might give us information, so everyone should keep an eye, ear, etc. out for whatever.
Okay. So you're kind of just being aware of your surroundings, is what you mean? Like that kind of thing, or?
Well, like, we've already been told that portions of the cave are dripping. So if this is the scientists that we found aren't dressed for like the ultimate weather, therefore it's slightly warmer wherever they came from, which leads you to believe that at least one of these leads to a warmer climate. If that's the case, it may be a case that there's either light from fires, magma, embers, anything down a tunnel, or there could be wind, or there could be brimstone, or there could be the smell of cooking, there could be heat in the air. So instead of just being all ice, all cold, all dark, what I'm saying is if we all pay attention while we're going around this next corner, if we have all these other openings and we look out for any kind of change, be it what it may, if we're all looking for it, we have a better chance of possibly making a decision. Could just be go back. I'm just telling everybody, look out for changes in temperature or heat or light or smell, or because any one of these things could give us information we don't have.
Okay, that's fair.
So I'm just telling everyone to think and be prepared, I suppose.
Yeah, that's fair.
Are we still within a mile of my alarm?
Oh yeah.
Good. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's up to you, but my opinion would be yes.
Okay. No, that's fair. I'll go with you.
You're all going then, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Same marching order, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
You pick up the trail and continue in a very similar marching order.
Still checking for traps. Still being quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'll get a survival check first. Let's just, if you're keeping idea for, first of all, for tracks, not just traps, I'm gonna get survival, and for traps then I'll get investigation, please.
Is this from each of us or just Adriana?
If one of you is helping her, if she says it out loud, then it can be two people, but
Yeah, I suppose we're both leading the crew, so I'll help out if that's okay.
Sure.
You're both?
Roll it. Yeah, well, I'll roll investigation separately.
Okay, yeah. We're doing both separately then, but we're doing it together.
Yeah. So dirty 20 on the investigation. That was more than 20, is it? Was?
Oh, I did survival for the first one. I'll do investigation then.
Okay. So just give me your numbers there.
13 for survival, dirty 20 for investigation.
Easy.
I got 18 for survival and a 24 for investigation.
No problem. So first you're checking for things like for traps or whatever. Nothing really out of the ordinary, things that have been triggered, but again a long time ago, and mostly in line with things that you have done yourselves. So nothing crazy, nothing out there. But triggered long ago, like I said, these are old bodies. But one thing that I'll say catches... I'll go with a Madriana just because the survival's higher. That catches a Madriana's ear. You hear a little...
Like a baby creature type noise, or...
You just hear a little...
Do I see where it's coming from?
It would be somewhere around the bend.
I just put out my hands to everyone to just stay back.
Slate walks into it.
Well, hopefully the others are buffer him so he doesn't.
Just like a train of crashing.
Yeah.
And I look at Dash and give him like a, quiet. And I'm going to sneak to a point where I can see them still. And hopefully I can see whatever might be making this noise.
I'll just, as she's going, I'll just kind of slowly pull the daggers and kind of like give her the eyes, like, are we pulling the daggers out?
Does it like,
Gestures to hold up.
calm. Just in case.
I'll get a stealth check from you.
Please be good. Yep, okay. 26.
With ease, you sneak around the corner and you see a little creature. So small, like not even realistically a foot tall, covered in fur, big round face, kind of just playing with a rock, kind of, and as it does, it's like, it has these small little hands and these little feet. I can show you guys. It just sits there.
Is this a fucking Yeti?
Played a game where you find a baby creature in a cave.
I saw what she did to the sheep. My expectations are low.
Ooh, we all did play that game.
Yes, we did. You, Biz, have like 5,000 hours in it. Because you lifted every leaf and every rock.
Yeah. Do I hear any mama or papa, like big fucking...
That would be a perception check.
That'd be fuck off then.
With a
That's a
9?
9.
Entranced by this little thing.
Actually, kind of am.
I don't know if the Madriana has ever seen anything like this. Probably not, just on the principle of like being from Verdoir. Now, what I will say about Verdoir is that rare species and things aren't necessarily unusual. People may capture them from certain places and bring them through Verdoir. The only place in the Isles that you can get anything is Verdoir. So...
Yeah, she remembers very vividly one time seeing this weird floating ball-like creature that had like a big metal dome over the top of its head.
Voltorb. Yeah. There are definitely some strange creatures that can be found in Verdoir, but this is not one that has crossed your path yet.
I kind of called. Can't believe I'm doing this. I called Dash over, but like.
Next letter over. Right.
Oh my god. Dash, you're made aware of this creature's existence in whatever way you see fit. That is really I know that for the podcast listeners this must be pretty jarring, I'm sorry, but it's really telling that the second that Madriana said Dash, everybody's face was different. Like Slate put his hand up to his face, and like Hatsu just rolled his eyes, and like Eos just panicked. I like that it is so telling that like it's just, she said Dash. It was just...
I would love when he would go around the corner like,
You guys make me want to do the chaotic shit by your reactions. Just go pet the damn thing, you know?
It's just because he's closest, guys.
I know.
I can't tell some of these. Is that panic because of Dash the character, or because they know me? I don't know
It's
where
a
the
bit
line
of
is.
both columns, man.
That's for the
fair
after
enough.
session to talk.
Yeah. Okay. I'll whisper to Madriana. What is that?
I honestly have no idea. But I'm not worried about that so much as I'm worried about Mama that might come and beat our heads in.
Do I know if these creatures might be intelligent? Can I tell that in any way, shape, or form?
You?
Yeah, me.
I mean,
I'm
to
sort of
know
like,
to
kid
know it
hasn't read up
offhand,
on
you
it
would need to
anymore.
know what the creature is. To know what the creature is, you'd need to be familiar with this area. So, for that, I would say no. But if you want to make an educated guess based on what you're witnessing, the creature is sort of sitting there, kind of
Yeah, the fact it's
legs
playing
spread
with
out
something-
forward and playing with rocks and kind of clicking them together and stuff. Not in a violent way, just like doing that and finding curiosities in it and going like obviously.
First Eos and then Slate. And Madriana like backs up behind Dash a little bit so that she's kind of covered verbally as
That's
well.
one way of saying it. The other way is you left Dash alone with the creature.
No, I'm just behind him, like literally my elbow's able to touch him. He's all right.
Yeah.
And she'll first look at Eos, and she'll start twisting her two fingers like this. And as she does this, this small, almost invisible spiral comes out of her fingers as Eos in her head hears, "I don't suppose you know how to talk to animals, do you?"
Eos will just reply mentally to Madriana. No, but I'm pretty good with them.
And unless you can cast that, I don't hear that.
Oh yeah, I gotta push the button. That's all right.
And as long as you can.
She has message. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's just this isn't one of those like 25 word type things. This is
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
a one-way quick message. Yeah.
So then I message back again and say, can you find out if any of the others do? It seems to be a white humanoid creature.
Eos thinks for a moment. And she gestures for Ayami.
Dash. Meanwhile, you look at the creature as it sits there, clinking rocks.
Does it notice me?
Not yet. Would you like it to?
I'm so tempted to throw the ball bearing to play with.
Yes, I come back to you while he sits there in temptation.
She'll message Ayami. First off, because I have a bit of room in the message. How are you with little baby animals, and do you recognize a small, puffy, white creature?
Ayami just like looking around, trying to figure it out, and then looks towards you because it's in your voice. And she like thinks real hard, And then she's just like shrugs, screw it. I'm not good with animals.
Second question.
What was the second question? That's a Ken thing, not Naomi thing.
Do you know what a small puffy white creature is?
Oh, what would she say to that? I know what
Yeah.
I would say to that.
Not the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters.
It's
but-
called a
not especially.
bichon frise.
Not especially. I have seen some strange dogs, but
It's called a Jigglypuff.
Mhm.
Get the fuck away from it now.
Yeah.
you all wake up tomorrow covered in like bruises and like drawings on your face.
Oh.
Don't worry, after this, it's only 6 sessions left in the cave, right?
All right, I'll assume Naomi says no to that one as well.
She said, no, she says, I've seen some strange dogs, but that's it. That was a legitimate
Oh.
answer.
Oh, okay. I thought
Sorry,
it was
sorry.
you.
No, that's just me. It's just my
Yeah.
voice, but it's
Okay.
her intentions.
Eos will then scratch back her head and she's going to go towards this little creature. And I'm going to use animal handling to mimic its movements and sit on the ground and play at rocks as well.
Oh shit.
Letting yourself be seen by it.
Of course, 100%.
As I see us doing this, I'm going to send Albie high into the top of the, like, literally the highest point he can reach but still move, and get him to go as far down as he can to see if we need to be aware of Mama and Papa.
I'm going to hand. I'm going to sit down next to Eos and hand her a ball bearing to
Okay.
row to
I'll have
it,
a
I guess.
stone and a ball bearing. I'm sticking with the 7. I know I could use my inspiration to reroll it, but we're going to go with it.
I got a notification, just a DM notification, that says Dash Heidman ball bearings bag of 1,000 reduced to 999.
Yeah, I don't think I can send you one, so I just marked it off, assuming
fine.
I lose it.
Yeah, so the initial response is fear. Your animal handling is a 7, so
I know. Yeah.
continued response is fear. It backs up like. My wife is somewhere in a different room, just like, what the fuck was that? No, actually, she's used to it because I walk around here making stupid noises. Sorry, practice all this stuff. All right, so yeah, I mean, the response is a fearful one, not a calm
Yep.
one. What are you doing with the ball bearing?
She's
Flick
going
out
to
the
have a
forehead.
ball. God, no, that's what Dash would do. No.
I would not do that.
Yeah, you
If
would.
established Dash loves animals.
Anywho, so she's going to have ball bearing in her left hand,
Mhm.
Eos's dominant hand, and stone in the other. She's going to kind of like race them against each other from one side of this. I'm guessing it's like a dip in the ground. To the race them against each other. She goes over to the other side, picks them up again, races again across.
I'll take out
Playful.
another one and roll it towards the.
I'll give you another animal handle check with
Yeah.
advantage. Either of you can roll it. Okay. 9.
Wow, I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
Oh, lordy.
When you use inspiration, you only reroll 1, so I'll take your first roll, which was the 13
13.
anyway. Yeah. 13. It gets up, it starts to run, but then with your 13 instead of your 9, it stops for a second and looks down at the ball bearings with a kind of cat-like curiosity almost.
Good. Eos will then take down her hood and back to it.
Nice. You
Everything a cat?
see it sort of like see your response and meets it with a curiosity. I made Johnny you come back around the corner and see Dash and Eos but sitting on the floor next to this thing.
Oh, I'm stood like with my
Oh, you have
back to
Albie,
the
that's right.
shadows.
Yeah,
And yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Albie right now.
Albie's fine up ahead, no worries. Slate and Hatsu, What in the living fuck are you guys doing?
Just out of character, I would see them like Hatsu with like Slate as a child on his feet, walking down his fucking cave.
That's actually really funny.
How long would you say these series of interactions have taken? A minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
2 minutes, I'd say. 2-ish.
So with that in mind, because of my actor ability, if I hear somebody speak for more than a minute, I'm able to mimic them. This is not speaking, so I wanted to ask, how would that work in terms of, because obviously the whole point of speaking is you can get all of their nuances and you can copy it exactly, either dialect, etc. So how does that work in the case of an animal sound? Having never attempted it, I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking.
I would allow you to do it with a performance check with advantage, but I will say that you don't know the language, so you don't know what you're saying. But
Fair.
I would give you advantage on mimicking creatures or like beasts or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I would say that like there's no technical reason why you can't, because you can morph your throat into any amalgamation of anything. So
I don't know what I'm saying. It's just I can copy the sound that it first made when it was playing, and I can copy the sound when it was terrified and started to run, because it's done two different noises
Sure.
that I can tell. But that's all. I don't understand the nuances of what it was saying, doing, or otherwise. And also I couldn't see, so I can only tell that there's been two different sounds at the beginning, and then the other.
if you could
Go
understand
ahead,
it, it
Mr.
was
Salamander.
if you could understand it, it was like, please, madam, I was just enjoying my time with my rocks. I didn't mean to bother you. Yeah, absolutely. You can roll a performance with advantage.
So what I want to do is mimic the first sound it made when it was calm, to try and be a calming influence on it.
Dirt,
25.
25. Crazy. All right. Yeah, well, you mimic the sound near perfect, I would say. For a non-native speaker, you do a great job.
So I know that I can't see anything. I don't know what's going on ahead. I just know the conversation that's been had. Can you speak to animals? I know that the cry has intensified, and I heard it trying to scurry away because it's only a couple of feet in front of me, but I can't see. So
I will say what Hatsu kind of picked up what Slate's been doing, and he would whisper in his ear what he would see
Okay,
as
so
kind
you're-
of assistance.
Okay, sure. That's nice. That's a good help.
So when he bends down to talk to me, because I was like really small, I'm gonna grab on around his neck like that. So when he stands up, I just go up with him. So I'm like
Puppy!
right here. yeah, literally exactly that.
Hell yeah, man.
Because he can narrate it as he sees it, and it's like a really quiet whisper because I'm right here.
Okay.
Yeah. So for now, that's all I've done. I've just done the mimicry noise and try and calm it, and I've been told that it's stopped running and they're all still playing or whatever have you.
Cool.
That's it from me for now.
In that case, we'll go to Albie.
Okay.
Gut instincts may have been somewhat correct, as the apple does not fall far from the tree. However, it does not seem aware of any presence, as Albie reports a large looming creature, bigger than some of these tunnels, sitting with several others that look similar to the one that Eos is befriending right now.
Right. Different sizes, like, is it like mum,
little
dad,
ones are-
two bigger brothers, and
The little ones are roughly the size of the one that Eos has, but the one that's sitting with them is much larger.
strange question, because a creature's a creature, right? They work off of their own natural instincts.
Sure.
Does it seem like an aggressive creature? Like, you know how you watch
Next.
some creatures, even with their newborns and stuff, they can be pretty rough, pretty harsh. Like gorillas, like they're like throw their babies around and stuff like that if they're just because they're that kind of way. Or is this like a maternal or paternal like softness to them?
A gorilla is a good example because I quite like those videos of when you see a gorilla, especially the mother, that is holding on to the baby or protecting it or keeping it safe. That is quite similar to what this is. In that same vein, never in my life do I want to be punched by one because I know that it would put its fist through me. So, like, there is, if you've ever seen like two gorillas fighting, that is an impressive thing to watch. Like, even in video format, because I don't want to be in person seeing that. But like it is titans fighting. It is just strength, incredible strength.
And if you've ever passed a dead body moments before that's had its head completely twisted off, only feet from where we're standing, as a warning sign to something massive that killed it, you know, just.
I would argue that there's something so subtle about that too, now that you bring that up. Whatever broke its neck did it with a precision. It knew how to break that neck. The same as the fox knows how to break the chicken's neck. There is a hunter-prey mentality there that isn't even, like, it isn't even a game. There's nothing. It's just...
But that's better because that shows that they're not killing out of fun. They're not killing out of instinct to just demolish the thing in front of them. It's, you're not leaving me the fuck alone and I have no other choice.
There were no teeth marks, claw marks, or anything.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
This was like, okay, you keep fucking trespassing, you keep coming near me, I'm just gonna break your neck. Quick, clean, over and done with.
Just while that's been happening, I've just tossed it a couple of more ball bearings.
Okay. It now has multiple ball bearings.
Mm-hmm. Should have 4.
Okay, I was about to check. Okay.
I'm gonna message Eos. It seems that Mama is further on in the cave with some other babies. We have one of two choices. Either we walk this one along and hope that the mother understands we are not trying to hurt it, or we get the fuck out of here.
Eos will reply via message. When I babysat my neighbor's child, I protected it with my life. Let's get out of here.
Grab Dash on your way out.
You know what would be really helpful to me? A stealth check from everyone at the table, please.
Okay.
Slate, as you can't see where you're going, I would give you disadvantage, but since the others are helping you, I'll just give you a straight roll.
18.
I appreciate that.
Oh, I have advantage because of the cloak.
You do have advantage because of the cloak.
Good job, brain. Good job, brain.
Can I, as well, just kind of before we start moving, I'm going to take out a little bit of a ration and just throw it its way.
Yep, no worries.
Yeah,
18 again for the podcast.
Mark off a ration for me, Dash.
No.
Have you ever tried climbing in the dark? It's slippery.
Oh God, I've just looked at the rules. Oh my God.
That's fine.
I'm sure that's going to be fine.
Eos got an 18,
My versions.
Atsu a 24, and Dash a 15. With ease,
Nice.
they sneak out. Madriana and Slate with an 8 and a 5 respectively.
Adriana, what?
Can I interject something?
Now would be a really good time to do that.
She understands that she's just come out the shadow, and whatever she's done, knocking a bit of rock off the wall, it's dunk, 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 bang, bang, bang on the floor. Seeing everyone kind of slip away a little bit quieter, but her not. Albie's on his way back, but I'm assuming he'd be able to tell that something was moving behind him now. I'm going to stand there so that they can get Slate out further.
I'm going to amend this slightly. You slip on the ration that dashed through because you weren't expecting it.
Motherfucking prick.
Well, I threw it towards the thing. That would have been the opposite side.
She was the opposite side.
Oh, you're?
So
Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe she wasn't.
No, I was.
Ken, based on your exact words, Hatsu, Dash, and Eos have made it out, and obviously I was hanging on to him and climbing in the dark, and I've clearly fallen off because I'm still there and he's gone. So in the dark, somebody has just moved beside me and slipped on a ration. I only assume that that's Hatsu, so now I'm climbing onto not Hatsu.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening.
Roll a d4 for me.
Are you my mommy?
That's really funny, actually.
No,
What's
I
this
am.
weekend?
A 2? You're holding on to Eos. Eos, you have no idea why, but Slate is now holding on to you.
Okay.
Slate.
He's small.
Slate, you're now aware you're holding on to Eos, but... yeah. Amadriana. As we bring our session to a close, let's focus on you. At first, you have a little bit of trepidation, but you want to protect your friend. Why wouldn't you? This is a good opportunity for you to slow things down. But what you're not expecting is how your heart begins to pound. As whatever is coming towards you gets ever closer in a much faster and more rapid pace. The pacing of a frantic parent.
Oh, she knows this feeling all too well, unfortunately.
As you face yet another monster. First it's... the ground begins to shake. Rocks begin to drip and fall from the ceiling.
As soon as it's...
As it runs, fists slamming into the ground, it comes billowing around the corner.
As soon as it gets into visual range, I go down to one knee and bow my head.
No worries. Well, one worry,
Oh,
but I
Lord.
guess we'll talk about that
That's a
next
worry.
week.
Oh no.
As a large, fur-covered creature comes billowing around the corner. You face a winter brute head-on, Madrona. Next week we'll see
Taking
how
a dodge action.
That's a
Just
good thing
see that.
That's a good thing to shout out and remind me of a week from now. Because right now we're going to wrap our session.
I went to one knee and bowed my head, but I am in dodge mode.
That's probably a good place to be in.
That's terrifying.
Well, I did say at lunch that we were about halfway there and you're living on a prayer, so let's see if that continues next week.
My God.
Thank you
my
for
God.
joining us today, podcast listeners and those watching on YouTube. This culminates and brings an end to this session, but for those of you on Twitch or continuing in YouTube, we will see you shortly. Our post-show will begin in just a moment. This will be a nice short break, so no boss fight. We're going to give it 4 minutes, if that's okay with everyone here at the table, because we are running uber late, and I would like to have enough time to just have a bit of a discussion about some of the stuff that happened today. But we'll kick straight back in then with you. See you shortly. Thank you for joining us. And fairly
See you in a
well.
minute, guys.
Roll the clip.
Amidst the whispers of ancient tomes and the flickering flames of destiny, Eos Tintria, born of shadow and fire, with arcane powers coursing through her veins and a spirit untamed, she strides into the unknown, wielding the darkness as both her sword and her shield.